the Lancers have a very balanced and talented offensive attack that's averaging over 34 points per game. The offense is led by quarterback Gabe Harrington and running back Jesse Brookins. But don't get too caught up in Lancers' ground game, as Francis Parker has 3 talented wide receivers who can beat you in the air.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, TC. Gabe Harrington, he's got no shortage of targets when he drops back to pass. 6'1" senior Hank Childs leads the team with 16 receptions. He's got 266 yards and 2 touchdowns. Senior tight end Bryce Fitzer has made the most of his 4 catches. He's averaging 26 yards a catch with his 2 touchdowns. And then sophomore wideout Khalil Jenkins, he's caught 7 balls, 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this trio of receivers, he's going to make any quarterback feel confident. And Harrington has certainly done a great job of spreading the ball around. He's over 700 yards. He's got 60% passing, 8 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. And that competes with a sparkling rating of 125. He's also run for 2 touchdowns, but they got a good ground game too. Jesse Brookins, 5'8", 180-pound junior running back. He's averaging 130 yards a game, and in the first 3 games, and he's found the end zone 4 times. So I guess TC, Francis Parker's offense, they're well-rounded, and they're going to be a test for the defense of the Christian Patriots.
So, speaking of which, on the visitor side of the field are the 3-0 Christian Patriots, the defending San Diego Section Division 5 champions, coming off a 2017 nail-biter against El Cajon Valley last Friday night, in which the Patriots scored in the final 12 seconds of the game to earn the win. Now, Christian has lost 14 key starters from last year's championship team, and the word around town was that this would be a rebuilding year for the Patriots. When in fact, they've just really reloaded with talent across the board, starting with running back Rayvon Owens and junior quarterback Michael Carrillo. But this team is all about defense, as they've allowed their opponents only 14 points per game this season, while piling up 39 points per game on offense. The Patriots are on an 8-game winning streak dating back to last season. So, Mark, what is Christian going to have to do to make it 9 in a row tonight?
Well, I think it's pretty simple, TC. We just talked about how talented the receiver core and the passing game is of Parker. I think part of what the Christian Patriots need to do is just get in there and disrupt the passing game. Get in the face of Harrington, put some pressure on, keep him from really being able to get a look downfield. Defensive backfield's got to get on the receivers and play some tight defense. They got to stuff the run game. I mean, it's all pretty simple stuff. When you're playing a good offensive team, you got to play solid defense, take care of the ball, and try not to look down the road to, games that are coming up. They got a good game in front of them right here, and they just need to stay focused. Like you said, they've lost 14 guys off of the last year's championship team, so these younger guys already seems like they've proven that they can focus and go out and play some good football, and they just need to keep doing that.
Should be interesting tonight. In fact, Michael Carrillo's father talked to me about the left tackle for Christian, who's been out the whole season. Actually, he's coming back tonight. He's going to give a little protection to his son, Michael Carrillo, and provide some much-needed protection for a quarterback who's been under fire most of this season, has taken quite a few sacks. So Christian looking to go stay perfect as they take on the Coastal League rivals Francis Parker. And that's going to do it for tonight's PlayOnSports.com pregame show. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a few moments. Friday Night Football begins next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. welcome back to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, coming to you live from the campus of Francis Parker High School in balmy San Diego, California. I'm TC Wardell alongside my partner Mark Grumman on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. We are underway here from Francis Parker High School as Christian looking to kick it off, and that one goes out of bounds, and Francis Parker will start the game in good field position at their own 35.
Yeah, very good field position, and we talk about Harrington and his receiver core and running game, and they get good field position to start out, so the Patriots defense is going to have to step up and try to minimize any kind of a drive that the Parker Lancers can put together right here.
So Francis Parker, someone has taken my roster. Oh, actually, that was you who stole my roster.
Oh, here, I'll speak. Here, give me mine back. Thanks.
Gabe Harrington, a quarterback, captain of this offense from Francis Parker, ready to start it up for the Lancers. High formation, two receivers to the near side. As Harrington handing it off to the left, trying to find a hole on the left side, and stacked up by a wall of white is running back Jesse Brookins on the carry. He's their top ball carrier this season.
Nice job by that defense. David Suda was the initial contact, and then he just had a whole bunch of help from his teammates to keep that, actually to cause a 1-yard loss on the play.
We're going to call this one 2nd down and 9. Ball's at the 36-yard line. Counter play this time to Brookins. Brookins trying to find some room off the left side. Picks up maybe 3 yards close to the 40-yard line, bringing up a 3rd down and long situation for the Lancers.
Little conservative opening here for Francis Parker, going on the ground, trying to keep that defense honest, maybe pound it a little bit, open up some holes or some openings down the field for the receivers.
3rd and 5. Play action rolling to his left and throwing the ball incomplete to his intended receiver, Noah Gamboa. Ball falling incomplete, bringing up a 4th down and 3 and out for this Christian defense. And we talked about earlier, this Christian team is all about defense this season, only allowing 14 points a game against their opponents.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad call right there. The wide receiver, Hank Childs, their leading receiver, took his man deep and opened up the flat for Gamboa there, but the throw was just a little long and out of his reach, and so now it's got to turn it over on downs.
So back to
3 and out. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Zach Schmidt standing in his own 25-yard line, ready to boot it away for Francis Parker. Good snap, good rush. Here comes the kick, and it is a beauty. That's going to send Kaufman back to his own 19-yard line, where he will make the fair catch. And Christian, the offensive unit for the Patriots, coming on the field with 10:53 left to go, just underway here at Francis Parker High School on PlayOnSports.com.
Hey, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, just like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. So for more information, you can go to PlayOnSports.com/SBP. So Christian on their first possession of the game, all set at their own 19-yard line. That is Michael Carrillo, the junior at quarterback. Miller in motion, going to get the jet sweep call and gets it. Looks around the left end, trying to get to the edge and can't quite make it as he is met at the 20-yard line by Eamon Mayberry, the defensive back for the Lancers. Yeah, couldn't quite get the corner turned all the way. Got a few yards out of it, but great job of the Parker defense of stringing that out and staying with them and keeping it to a minimal gain.
We're going to give him 3 yards on the carry. That's a generous mark. 2nd and 7 from the 21, called the 22-yard line of Christian. Just underway here from Francis Parker High School, Division 5 football under the lights here from San Diego, California. And flags on the field. Play is stopped, and we may have movement on the line by Christian. Let's see what the call is on the field. It is offsides against Francis Parker. And that'll give Christian a free 5 yards.
Always nice to get free yardage when you're on offense.
Well, that's a brilliant statement.
You know, I spent weeks thinking that one up, and I appreciate you noticing that.
More yards is better than no yards.
Free yards. Free is good.
So after the penalty, 2nd down and 8 for Christian. Carrillo under center. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Miller in motion. They're going to going to go right up the gut with this one, and Francis Parker reads it like a book, stops him cold in the line of scrimmage. They may give him a half yard. That's going to bring up third down at about a yard and a half. As Francis Parker met, I believe, Paris Miller in the tailback position, trying to work through the center.
Well, actually, it was Paris Miller in motion coming from the right side. They faked the handoff to him on the sweep and then gave it to Rayvon Owens going up the middle, and Parker was not fooled. They did a good job of stopping that, setting up third and short.
3rd and 1, ball's at the 28-yard line. Christian trying to find a way to get that first down. Hit immediately off the right guard, and I don't think he got it. Francis Parker leading the charge. David Treganza stopped the running back for Christian for looks like a yard loss. Maybe got to the line of scrimmage, bringing up 4th down and about a half yard. And Christian's got to kick this one away.
Yeah, just about the time Carrillo handed off to Owens, there was a Francis Parker defender wrapping him up, so he got very little, if anything, on that. See our second 3 and out to start this game.
So far, defense kind of ruling the roost here in this ball game. 8:41 left to go in the first quarter. No score between Christian and Francis Parker. As thing back to punt is Hester at his own 15-yard line, ready to boot it away. Long snap count.
They may have got to delay a game. That was a very long snap count.
I don't know why you'd want to give him a longer field to punt by.
It was.
They were trying to draw Francis Parker off sides on the long count. Francis Parker held their water, didn't work, and that'll march the ball back 5 yards.
So they just gave back those free 5 yards that Francis Parker gave them, didn't
Tremendous.
they? See? Free is good.
Mark Grumman, not the best, not the worst analyst in the world, folks. No better color man than him.
Just calling it as I see it there, TC.
8:25 left to go in the first quarter. Christian now, after the penalty, ready to punt it away. Good snap. And a beautiful punt right down the middle of the field. That's Glasser letting it bounce, going to pick it up at the 31-yard line. Looking for some room in the middle. Has a seam. Still on his feet. Breaks a tackle and across midfield into Christian territory at the 48-yard line.
Really nice job, Glasser, finding a seam there, breaking a couple tackles. A couple guys had their arms wrapped around him, but he was able to just break free and keep going. Nice return, setting up a nice field position there for Parker. Got an injured Patriot down on the field. Tried to walk himself off, but now he's down and out.
8:11 left to go in the first quarter. No score here from Francis Parker High.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports. PlayOnSports.com.
TC Wardell and Mark Grumman from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. Glad you're joining us here on PlayOnSports.com. It is a Division V clash between the Francis Parker Lancers and the undefeated Christian Patriots, who were last year's Division V champions. As the Lancers on their second possession of the game, ball at the Christian 48-yard line. Movement everywhere on the line. As the receiver jumped a little bit, that's Khalil Jenkins. Made a bit of a movement from his receiver spot, and that will march the ball back 5 yards. And that's not a free 5 yards for Francis Parker. That would be a negative.
That would be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just a little anxious. They got great field position to open this next possession, and I think they're just anxious to attack.
So 1st and 15, ball back in their own territory at the 47. Harrington back to throw, has a man at the left side in the flat, complete up to the 41-yard line. That is Hank Child, the team's leading receiver with the catch and grab. And a pickup of 9 on the play. It's going to bring up a second down and about 4.
Yeah, last week Childs, he had 11 receptions, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And so a heck of a ball game for him, and I'm sure they're looking for more of the same.
And Harrington likes to sling it, but this time they're going to go with Brookins up the middle. Plenty of room, and Brookins pinballing off defenders all the way to the 30-yard line. And that'll be a first down for the Lancers. It's a good-looking drive early with 7:42 left to go in the first.
Yeah, great balance there by Brookins, kind of bouncing off guys, keeping his head, keeping his balance, and able to pick up big yardage.
Quickly back on the ball goes Francis Parker. Brookins with the call off the right guard. Powers his way across the 30 to the 28-yard line. And it looks like Francis Parker going with that quick offense. So there'll be little to no time for my analyst to do any speaking.
Oh, I can find time.
as Harrington looks toward the sidelines for the call. Looks on his wristband. Makes the audible at the line of scrimmage. 7:13 and counting in the first quarter. No score here from Francis Parker High, but the Lancers on the drive. Offset I formation. Brookings gets the call again off the right side. Has some room. Blocking in front of the 20. Spins his way up to about the 17-yard line and out of bounds. Nifty piece of running by Jesse Brookins. And this ground game by the Lancers starting to really come on track.
Well, in the opening, TC, we talked about the passing game and all the receivers and said not to forget about the ground game. And you can see that with the balance, a running game like this just opens it up for the passing game. And they're going right after the Patriots defense, and they got Christian on their heels, and now they're backing Christian right up to the goal line.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Zone read option. Harrington going to keep it himself. Dances across the 15 to about the 12. Pickup of 3 or 4 on the play.
Sebastian Swift, if he doesn't make that tackle there, which he just got him by the ankle, Harrington had blocking downfield. He might have been able to carry that one all the way in.
Give him about 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5. Ball is placed at the 12-yard line. Harrington this time under center. Sends 2 receivers to the far side. He rolls to his left and whistles on the field. And here's a late flag. Illegal procedure against the Lancers. Will march them back 5.
Well, it's about the only thing that's gone wrong for them on this drive. They've done a great job of moving that ball pretty much at will against this Patriot D.
6:15 left to go in the first quarter. No score here from Francis Parker High. These two teams met last in the Division V semifinals last year in a complete shootout where Christian came through 62-40. Might see some fireworks like this again tonight here on 2nd and 10. And this time back to throw is Harrington, and he drops the ball. And this time they're just going to call it incomplete, because I think he got his arm hit.
Yeah, his arm was definitely moving forward on that. And whether it slipped out or somebody knocked it out, it's hard to tell, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his number 1 guy, number 8, Hank Childs, over on the right flat. And Childs was there. He was open. He didn't have anybody right around him, so he might have been able to get a little bit of yards after the catch had the ball been able to get out to him.
Well, the entire Francis Parker team staring at the sidelines for the call and then quickly back on the ball. As Harrington sits back in the gun this time. Brookins to his left pocket. 2 receivers far side, 1 solo right. Back to throw now. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Here comes the pressure. Drop the ball. That's a fumble. Live ball, and it looks like Francis Parker may have jumped back on it.
That was Sebastian Swift with the big hit there. Harrington never saw him. He was just looking downfield, and Swift came. It wasn't even a blindside hit. He just had a free shot at him. Swift was in quickly, knocked him solid, knocked the ball free, and now instead of driving to the end zone, they're going to have to settle for a long field goal.
And a long one that is. It's going to be a 43-yard attempt by Zach Schmidt. Now, he's got a leg, and Francis Parker is known for bringing out excellent kickers.
Yeah.
So Schmidt from 43 yards out. Low snap, kick is up. It is a line driver. That's going nowhere. That's going to bounce in front of the goal line and into the end zone. And they're going to call that one dead. And a great opportunity on a drive goes asunder for the Francis Lancers. So Christian dodges a bullet on that one. Will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
How disappointing for the Lancers. They had such a great drive going, and then, just the disruption of a 5-yard penalty sets them back a little bit, and it just seemed like it took everything out of that drive for them, and now they come away with nothing when it looked like they were going to punch that right on into the end zone.
So Christian, Michael Carrillo, and the Patriot offense back on the field. They've had a little time struggling so far in the first quarter, moving the football. As they have some movement here, they're trying to get their players aligned as Arvin goes tight to the left. Under center Carrillo, and that's Miller in motion. Miller on the jet sweep to the right, gets the call, tries to work the edge, and hit hard, bounces off a tackler, and powers forward close to the 30-yard line. Hard running by Paris Miller of the Patriots.
Nice lead blocking out there. Rayvon Owens, the running back, was out in front and did a nice job of kicking the receiver out, giving a little extra room to his teammate for some extra yardage, and sets up a 2nd and short.
8-yard pickup from Miller on the jet sweep. 2nd and a long one. Ball's at the 28-yard line of Christian. 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score. As Carrillo sets under center. Shoots motion again, this time looking to throw. Heavy pressure, tosses it over the edge, and just misses his intended receiver, Phillip George, coming over the corner. And one issue that Christian's been having this year is heavy pressure on Carrillo as their left tackle. This is his first game back the entire season. He was out most of the preseason with injuries.
Yeah, that's a huge position. A lot of people don't really, they underestimate the importance of a good left tackle. He protects the blind side, man. Everybody remembers the movie. How important is the blind side? You got to protect your quarterback because he doesn't see the guys coming from that backside. And man, what a huge opportunity missed there. George had lots of room if he got that ball.
This time, handoff over to the right side. That's Owens who kicks over the 35-yard line, rolls close to the 40, and that'll be a first down for Christian on a 3rd and short. And they need to keep the ball moving here. Their offense has been a little sluggish in this first quarter, and this is just what they need to move the chains.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them. I'm sure Coach over there would be really pleased to see a little bit of a sustained drive. Obviously a score would be the ultimate, but right now they got to get a little bit of a rhythm going.
Coach Matt Oliver got his 100th career victory last week against El Cajon Valley, and they got it in tough style. As they're going to go right down the middle again with Owens. Owens powering his way across close to the 40-yard line, and now we're starting to see a little bit of diet of this Paris Miller-Rayvon Owens combination, trying to just soften up this Francis Parker defense.
Yeah, great job by the line. They're opening up just enough of a hole for Owens, and he hits it quickly, and he gets through it into the second level of the defense, and before they can get him, he's picked up 7-8 yards.
And puts him in a 2nd and short situation. 2nd and a long 3. Ball's at the 44-yard line of Christian. 2 receivers set to the near side. Miller again in motion across the formation. They're going to go up the middle with Owens again. 3 times straight, and 3 times the charm as Owens gets close to midfield, and another Christian first down. And here comes the running attack of the Patriots starting to work its way through this ball game.
Yeah, Rayvon Owens, he's got a 5.3 yards per carry average so far this season and 3 touchdowns. And they're starting to establish that they do have that running game. Good job, again, by the offensive line to open a hole.
Owens last year over 1,600 yards rushing, trying to pick up where they left off. And thanks to my spotter here, I appreciate it, from Francis Parker, we have a face mask penalty against the Lancers, and that's going to move the ball up across midfield. And Christian will have it 1st and 10 from the 47 of the Lancers. Carrillo under center, sends 2 receivers near side. George solo right. He likes to throw it to Phillip George, and that's exactly where he's going. Deep down the right sideline has George, and in and out of the hands, and great defensive play by the defensive back, Amon Mayberry, or was it Horn? Looking to the...
You're right. You got it. It was
Mayberry from the corner position, knocking that ball away at the last minute.
And they had George open down there. He had a couple steps on his defender, and the ball just a little bit underthrown, or we would have been watching him walk into the end zone.
Carrillo loves going to George when he gets single coverage on the short side. This time he's going to go trips to the left. Carrillo back to throw, looking short, 3-step drop, in trouble, drops the ball. He's dropped, and the ball's loose, and Francis Parker recovers. Carrillo with a 3-step drop had time, but the pocket collapsed, and he finally took a hit and coughed up the football, and Parker's defense coming through big again. And they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line with 3:15 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, credit the defensive backfield there. There was nobody open. Carrillo was looking downfield, could not find anybody, and they were well covered, and we talked about that. This Parker defense is going to have to cover the receivers, and they did a great job right there. They didn't give Carrillo anybody to throw to, and he ended up getting sacked and fumbled the ball.
And that's been the plague this year of the Christian offense. Carrillo under fire once again. This time Harrington for Francis Parker gave it to Brookins. Brookins spinning his way across midfield to the 48-yard line. I'll tell you, last year it was a 62-41 ball game. Right now, defense is the order of the day. No score here with 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, both defenses are doing a really nice job of halting any kind of a drive by the opponent. So who's going to score first? It'll be interesting to see who can actually finally break through.
Offset I formation. Harrington back to throw. Half rolls to his right. Plenty of room. Great blocking. Childs is there at the 38 and finally brought out of bounds. And a little extra shove at the end of the play by Trevor Howell, making sure that Childs doesn't go back into the field of play. But that'll be a first down for Francis Parker.
Did you see the block that Jesse Brookins laid out a linebacker? I mean, the kid can run, but boy, did he just throw a block on that guy. Total pancake block. It was beautiful.
So short side of the field, offset I formation, 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of Christian. Parker on the march. Brookins gets the call this time off the left-hand side, and he's just battling his way across the 30. Still can't bring him down to the 27-yard line. And what Parker, leaving off what they did in their last drive, just moving at will against this Christian defense.
Yeah, they got to keep it going, though, like they did not last time. But Brookins, one play he's pancake blocking a linebacker. The next play he's tiptoeing through the line and picking up almost 9 yards. And, boy, he's doing it all for him right now.
So the offense for Francis Parker, again, staring over at the coaching staff. They got the play call on their handboard, just letting them know what they're going to run from the line of scrimmage. Offset I formation, 2 receivers far side. Ball set at the right hash. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Childs in motion. He zips back. This time play action and rolling to his right, and he's going to keep it as Harrington. Harrington down to the 20 and takes a hit near the 15-yard line. That's a gutsy quarterback. As an offensive coordinator, I don't want to see my quarterback taking a shot like that out of bounds.
Yeah, you kind of would like to see him run out of bounds instead of taking the hit. Sebastian Swift again comes up and makes a nice open field tackle, but too late. It's a first down for Parker, and here they are. They're still moving the ball really well on the ground.
And they're back in the red zone again. 1:45 left to go in the first quarter, and officials timeout on the field. It looks like we have an equipment issue with one of the Christian defensive backs.
Trevor Howell's got some kind of a strap thing going on with his shoulder pads.
Wardrobe malfunction.
A wardrobe malfunction.
And he'll jog off the field to get that taken care of. 1:44 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score here from Francis Parker High. As 2 Division V rivals, both ranked 1 and 2 so far in the San Diego section, battling it out here on a warm and beautiful Friday night in San Diego, California. And as the officials start the clock, then they will stop it again. And we have a timeout on the field by Francis Parker. We'll take 1-2 at 1:43 left to go in the first quarter. No score between Francis Parker and Christian.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championships events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. You know, TC, probably not a bad timeout call, actually, because the equipment thing kind of disrupted their momentum, and, you know, maybe it's a good idea for the coach to Coach Harrington to say, you know, let's take some time. Coach Morrison, take a little time out since you had a nice flow going. It got interrupted. Sometimes those kinds of things, you know, kind of mess up your momentum. So not a bad call, I think.
I think it's a good idea, but to get their confidence back. The last time they were in the red zone, they were unable to convert into any points here. Settle the boys down. Let's get them going. Let's get them in the end zone and get our game plan on track as Christian's defense jogs back onto the field. We thank you for joining us here on PlayOnSports.com from San Diego, California. Host Francis Parker taking on Christian. Still late into the first quarter, no score. Offset I formation on 1st down and 10. Francis Parker looking to score here as Brookins works his way off the left-hand side. Had a hole, but that was quickly closed by Tyler Leslie. As Brookins saw daylight, and all of a sudden he saw white as number 77 closed that hole down.
Yeah, it did look for a second there like Brookins might have some room, but Leslie did a nice job of snagging him and dragging him down. It's minimal gain on the play.
2nd and a long 9. Ball set at the 16-yard line. Half roll to the right as Harrington slings it down to the flat and short of his intended receiver, Childs. Childs is running an out route near the 5-yard line. Goes incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. And once again, into the red zone comes Francis Parker, but now struggling to move within the 20.
Yeah, that was a nice coverage by Trevor Howell. He's just a sophomore, a 5'10" sophomore, but he was hanging with his man and didn't give him any kind of room to make a catch.
Now he's isolated with Mayberry to the right side as Harrington's kind of staring down the one-on-one coverage. 2 receivers to the short side. Brookins in the backfield, back to throw is Harrington. 6-step drop, now flushed and dropped at the 20-yard line. Sacked by David Suda as the Christian defense tightens up in the red zone.
Boy, they sure do. That's 2 in a row now. They've been down in the red zone with momentum going against them, and they just turned it right back around. And now they force another field goal attempt from, you know, pretty good distance.
We may have another kicker in here. No, it is Schmidt. I'm sorry, I can barely see the number. That's Zach Schmidt will attempt again. His last 43-yard attempt, and it was no good. As he tries this time from 36. The kick looks deep. It's up. It is perfect, and we have our first score of the game.
Nicely done right there. Very, very nicely done.
Schmidt from 36 yards out gives Parker a 3-0 lead with 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
And again, folks, if you want to watch more of your high school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight, well, you need to tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And folks, I don't believe we were live at the time, but we had a national anthem sung by a fourth-grade girl actually sitting in front of us. It was absolutely tremendous. One of the best renditions of our national anthem I've ever heard.
Yeah, absolutely concur with you, TC. She was awesome. Strong voice. Boy, she hit the high notes. Didn't miss a beat. She was as steady as can be.
4'1", couldn't weigh more than 55 pounds. And she's got a voice that just belted out the stadium. Got a great response from both sides of the stands. So Francis Parker strikes first from the 26-yard field goal by Schmidt. And it's a 3-0 Francis Parker lead over Christian. What happened to the 60-42 game we saw last year in the Division V semifinal?
Yeah, you get the feeling that they might all be thinking the same thing. Nice kickoff.
Schmidt just boots it high and long, and that's going to go in the end zone, and Christian will have to take over at their own 20-yard line.
Paris Miller on the reception tried to keep it from going in the end zone, but couldn't quite. That was a nice kick, preventing any kind of a run-back opportunity.
Parker's been known to produce some really strong kickers. Matt Weil right now is a kicker for the University of Michigan. And I had an opportunity 2 years ago to watch him just kick, and it was actually boring watching his balls just go out to the parking lot. But every time and every kickoff.
It's like watching Christian Fanning over there at Cathedral High School.
Yes, exactly
he's
right.
kicking field goals from, basically he's kicking them through the uprights, and nobody can run anything back.
Careful where you park your car. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Christian this time going to give it to Owens. Owens powers his way to the 30. Now and further up. Looks like he may have rolled up to the 33-yard line. It's a little extra yardage with a little extra effort.
Yeah, Hank Childs kind of grabbed him and threw him down, and he threw him forward, actually, past the first down marker. And the Patriots have a first down.
That's a good point you bring up with Childs. He plays both sides of the ball, and you're going to see this with both these programs. These are both small schools. You're going to see a lot of Ironman football by a lot of these players, and you'll start seeing some fatigue late in the third quarter and some heavy legs.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of these guys do go both ways out there, and it's tiring. It would be.
1st and 10 from their own 33. This time a flip toss to Miller. Miller runs into a wall at about the 35-yard line. Leaps over to about the 36. We'll pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, nice pursuit by Parker again to get out there and prevent him from really getting turned upfield and picking up anything major there. 2nd and long.
And that'll take us to the end of quarter number 1 here from Francis Parker High School. And a defensive slugfest, Francis Parker with a 3-0 lead over Christian.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
TC Wardell alongside Mark Grumman. That's Chris Cashman producing for us tonight. Ken Hall on the camera. Steady as always. We're here from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. The Lancers with a 3-0 lead over Christian, last year's Division V champion, as we start the second quarter. And so far, Mark, this has really been a defensive battle.
Yeah, a little unexpected. We talked about so much offense from these guys, but it's been the defense. Parker's had a couple opportunities with great field position, drove it down a little ways. Looked like they were going to take it all the way, and then just their drive stalled. And then one of them, they were at least able to get 3 points out of it. You just kind of get the feeling that, it's one of those little boxing matches where they're duking it out a little bit, and they're going to just break loose here anytime.
We'll see what the second quarter holds for us as it's 2nd down and 8 from their own 35-yard line. Owens again the call, this time off the right side, and a nice tackle by Childs at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, real nice tackle by Childs out there on the right side out in the open there. Otherwise, Owens again, if he gets by Childs, he's got lots of running room.
They've been hitting the Francis Parker right side of their defense just about all night. I haven't seen the Christian move much to the left-hand side of the Lancers. Not sure if that is a game planned decision. But they're certainly picking on the right side of that Francis Parker defense.
Well, you look at the right side of that offensive line, they got some pretty big boys over there, so it makes sense to run behind them.
3rd and 5 from the 38-yard line. Quick screen out to the left, have the math. And this time, Miller across the 45-yard line, flag down on the field late. And it looks like we may have a holding call from the first indication by the side official.
He does a nice job by Miller to get that catch on the run and kind of plant and make a move upfield to get himself first down yardage. But let's see if the flag will negate that.
Carrillo likes to throw those quick passes. It doesn't give the defense much time to get up on him. And they're going to wave the flag off. Whatever it was they thought they saw, they didn't. And that should be first down, move the chains for Christian as the ball is set at their own 44-yard line. 11-11 left to go until halftime. Francis Parker holding on to a 3-0 lead. And as both teams have been kind of playing within the 20-yard lines, a lot of good defense on both sides so far. As Carrillo sets under center and sends 2 receivers far side. Looking back to throw, 5-step drop, goes over the middle. He's got his man across the midfield to the 48-yard line. And here comes another flag as Spearing with the catch. First time we've called his name tonight, but a flag coming in late from the secondary.
Yeah, they've got Spearing listed only as a kicker. He's a pretty good-sized kid.
And you have an illegal block against Christian. That'll negate that play. And like you said, Mark, both teams is kind of testing the waters with each other right now. Not a lot of offensive production.
Yeah, neither passing game has really been established, although you got to say Francis Parker has certainly got the running game going. They've proven with Brookins that they can move the ball on the ground. And it's probably just a matter of time till we start seeing the ball aired out a little bit more.
And I'll just say that. Phillip George sets to the right side solo. He's got one-on-one coverage. Back to throws Carrillo, and that's exactly who he's looking for. He's going to go deep to George. Well covered and nearly intercepted. Tremendous defensive play by defensive back Nate Glasser. He's got 2 interceptions on the season. They almost came up with a third one there.
Yeah, he just launched that thing. It was up high, and both receiver and defender were waiting for it to come down. It was just pretty much a jump ball. Neither of them got it, but so they both just knocked it away from one another.
Tremendous defense by Glasser. And Carrillo really likes to go to George when he gets one-on-one coverage. But so far, Francis Parker, secondary in lockdown, forcing a 2nd down and 12. The ball is at the 42-yard line of Christian. It's Carrillo once again under center. This time draw play up the middle. Owens finds some daylight across midfield to the 45 and to the 43. And that really fooled the Francis Parker defense as they were looking pass all the way.
Yeah, Owens hit that hole really quickly and was able to get into the second part of that defense in a hurry and pick up that first down. And Christian's putting together a little bit of a drive here. They're trying to answer back to that field goal that Francis Parker put on the board at the end of the first quarter.
They're going to have to really rely on their run game. And they've got an outstanding stable of running backs with Miller and Rayvon Owens. And so far, the passing game has not come on track here this evening as Phillip George sets in the slot to the right. 2 receivers left. Back to throw again on 7 steps is Carrillo looking down the middle of the field and overthrows his intended receiver looking for Miller, but he just overshot everybody. And that one will fall incomplete. And that's been a bit of a problem with Carrillo so far this season. This is his first year starting as a junior. And he has not really connected with his wide receivers quite yet.
And credit again to the Parker defense. Every one of the receivers was well covered. That was Khalil Jenkins on that play. The ball just kind of went in the middle of everybody there. There was nobody really open down there, and Carrillo tried to force it in.
2nd and 10. Ball's at the 42-yard line of Francis Parker. Inside counter. That's a fumble by Spearing. Ball still loose. And I think a brown jersey may have jumped on it. They did. Another turnover for Christian as their offense becoming unhinged right now. And Francis Parker will take over at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, just a poor exchange there. I'm not sure. It was a little crowded and during the handoff, and it just never got into the hands of the running back. And pretty soon it's bouncing around down there. Great job by Parker to recognize the ball on the ground and pounce on it.
So the offense for Christian High averaging 39 points a game. Still with a goose egg here with 10:04 left to go in the second quarter. And Francis Parker with the ball and a 3-0 lead. So Gabe Harrington trigger man for this Lancer offense, back on the field. Francis Parker 2-1. They've got a rugged schedule starting tonight for the next 3 weeks. Boy, Imperial comes to town next week with running back Royce Freeman, probably the best football player you've never heard of.
Boy,
folks.
he is something.
Unreal. They usually take him out of the game at halftime because the defense is tired of chasing him down. So 1st and 10 for Francis Parker. Harrington on the play action. Plenty of room in the pocket. Looks up. Now he's in trouble. Ball goes loose. Harrington lost it. And there's a scrum for the football at the 38. No indication yet from the officials. As Harrington's helmet's off, and Christian on an about face recovers the fumble. Francis Parker blows a great opportunity there as Harrington coming off the field with a helmet off as he took a hit and coughed up the football.
Yeah, he was ready to unload that pass and just was unable. Like, you know, Christian got in there, disrupted it, knocked the ball free, and capitalized on that turnover. And here they are with great field position, kind of continuing in that drive that they had interrupted just a moment ago.
So turnabout being fair play. Christian takes advantage of a turnover. Ball now in outstanding field position at the Lancer 37. Owens again cuts back to the middle of the field, wide open to the 20-yard line, still on his feet across the 15. And Owens with a quick hitter up the middle, down to the 12-yard line, and Christian's offense in business with 9:38 left to go until the break.
Real nice run there by Owens, and he was going right up the middle. Brent Breslau was able to wrap him up, but he got dragged down a little ways. Owens is a strong young man.
So Christian inside the red zone once again, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line of the Lancers. Carrillo sets under center, 2 tight end set. Owens this time working the right side and nowhere to go as he was absolutely drilled by Khalil Jenkins at the line of scrimmage.
Good job by Parker to clog the hole there. Keep it at a 2nd and long.
And this is where both teams have really struggled offensively here tonight within the red zones as both defenses have clamped down, which is why we're at a 3-0 Francis Parker lead here with just under 9 minutes left to go until halftime. Carrillo sits under center. Owens sole setback. 2 receivers far side. He's got George solo right. Long count as Carrillo sits back up. And it looks like Christian wants a timeout here, and they'll take it with 8:47 left to go in the second quarter. It's Francis Parker 3, Christian nothing.
And PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
T.C. Wardell alongside Mark Grumman from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. Couldn't ask for a better night in terms of weather. A lot of short sleeves and shorts out here this evening.
Including myself. It's a beautiful night here.
As the Lancers, with a 2-1 record, trying to keep this Christian offense out of the end zone. Francis Parker holding on to a 3-0 lead with 8:47 left to go until halftime. As Christian coming out of the timeout, looking to find a way to get in the end zone. So far, their offense has been unsuccessful in the red zone this evening. Needing to get a score here. These are 2 high-flying offenses that have really been kind of derailed by the defense.
Yeah, they've been grounded, and neither team has really had an effective passing game. And you got to believe that once one of them or either of them finds a little success in the air, that they're going to open it up a little bit more, maybe kind of establish the tempo of the game.
As Carrillo reminds Miller what the snap count is. Miller back into his slot position. Carrillo sets back under center. George solo right. 4-step drop for in the middle, and the ball is blocked at the line of scrimmage as Carrillo couldn't get it over the big hands of the Francis defense. And I think that's the big defensive lineman, 6'7" senior, Bryce Fitzner, who batted that one down.
Yeah, Fitzner, another one of those guys that's doing double duty. He's also their tight end. He's got 2 touchdowns on 4 catches on the year. And what a nice-sized guy to have in the middle of the defensive line. You just get up there and put your arms up and make it real difficult for the quarterback to see downfield.
David Carrillo listed at 5'10". He probably felt like 5'1" on that play as Fitzner, the 6'7" man, just swatted that ball away. Now 3rd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Christian trying to find a way to get in the end zone. Back to throw again as Carrillo looking downfield to his left, going to throw deep in the corner, overthrows his intended receiver, complete, and now it's 4th down, and Christian will attempt a field goal. Once again, Francis Parker's defense holding tight in the red zone.
Yeah, Jake Glasser got in there and put a nice little hit on Carrillo, the quarterback, knocked him down, and didn't give him much of a chance to find his receiver. He just had to throw that thing long and out of bounds. There were two defenders back there with the intended receiver.
Well, Mason Powell will attempt a field goal of, appears to be 31 yards. It'll be Trevor Howell sitting the hold. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. It's a line drive up, and it is good. And Christian, at the 8:33 mark of the second quarter, has knotted it up at 3 apiece.
Folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, just like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Well, tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And folks, we thank you for joining us here on PlayOnSports.com from San Diego, California. The Christian Patriots, last year's Division V champions, coming back to tie this one up in a defensive battle, 3-3 against Francis Parker with 8:33 left to go until halftime. Mark, I got to tell you, I am surprised by the defensive play by both teams here tonight. As last time these two met in the semifinals, over 103 points logged in on the game, 60-42.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, that kind of points put up. Of course, it was a year ago, and a lot of guys are gone. You talked about 14 guys from the team off of Christian that have moved on to the next level. It's two teams that are battling hard. You know, Parker's trying to get a little revenge. They lost twice to this Christian team last season, including that big one in the semifinals. And so they're coming out hard to play. They want to get exact a little revenge.
Powell ready to kick this one off. It's a high pooch kick. They've been very successful with this, but not this time. Ball's picked at the 30-yard line and tripped up at the 33 is Nate Glasser. And that is where Francis Parker's offense will go to work. 8:30 left to go in the second quarter. And we are knotted up at 3 apiece here at Francis Parker High.
That was Paris Miller on the tackle there. Here's a kid that he runs the ball on offense. He's playing some defense, and he's on the special teams as well. I mean, these guys, they're not just doing double duty. They're doing triple duty and more. When you got a small school and a small roster, boy, you got to get your guys, everybody out there, all hands on deck on all opportunities.
Both of these are small private schools, so the rosters are rather thin, which means you're going to see a lot of Ironman football. Now in a triangle receiver formation to the left. They're going to hand this one up off the middle, bouncing off one man, still on his feet. Brookins trying to find room, can't get there. And I believe that's going to be Miller again on the stop for about a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, nice job. Miller, Swift. Swift got a handful of jersey and just wouldn't let go, and it allowed his teammates, Miller and others, to get in there and drag down Brookins. So actually 2 or 3 yard loss on the play, setting up second and long.
Just over 8 minutes left to go until halftime. 3 apiece here. Francis Parker and Christian. 2nd and 13. Back to throw. And Harrington out of the arms of his intended receiver at the 43. That was Mayberry. That was a strike, and Mayberry couldn't hang on to it.
Just a little low, but he's got to go down and get that. He's got to get down quickly. It was a nice job. He was open there in the middle of the field, behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties, and it would have been a nice connection, but comes up for nothing.
Well, big window of opportunity there for him to catch. Boy, there wasn't a white jersey near him.
Yeah, that throws up a little bit too, and Mayberry's got a catch, and he's got plenty of yards after the catch if he's able to get that ball up, but didn't happen that way.
So on 3rd and 13, Harrington's going to go in the gun formation. He's going to move his receivers and skill position players around a little bit, sends 2 receivers to the short side. Looking to throw. There's the pocket. They're going to go over the screen. He's got it at the 30-yard line. Looking for some room in the middle of the 40. Down to the left sideline to midfield. Down to the 40. One man to beat. And a nice open field tackle at the 28-yard line. But a tremendous play by Khalil Jenkins off the screen pass. And runs it all the way down deep into Christian territory.
Boy, Robert Spearing was the last hope for Patriots. And he did a great job of getting some leg out of there and forcing the ball out of bounds, or forcing the runner out of bounds. Otherwise, that's 6 points. But a great play for Francis Parker. Biggest play of the game for either team.
Absolutely. 1st and 10 from the 29. And this time Brookins hit and dropped. Ran into a wall of white. Now he's complaining to the coaching staff. Not
Get
happy.
My blockers out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Not happy with that play. But he did pick about a yard, so 2nd down and 9. They're looking for the ball placement. Is going to be at the 28 of Christian. 7:18 left to go until halftime. knotted up at 3 apiece. It's been a defensive slugfest here so far tonight. Slide the fullback over, offset I formation. And they go with the first back through the big fullback. Launches through across the 25 to the 23-yard line. That's Noah Gamboa. Great name.
Gotta love it. The parents are poets.
Takes up about 5 on the play. Call it 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 23-yard line as Gamboa jogs off the field. And they bring in the passing package in there with Mayberry and Jenkins. As the entire team looks over to the coaching staff, as they all have their wristbands on their wrists for all the play calls. As Harrington in the gun, and now we got some confusion on the Francis Parker offense, and they need a timeout to talk it over. 6:28 left to go until halftime. It's tied up, Francis Parker and Christian at 3.
Yeah, Parker's got a nice opportunity here with 3rd and relatively short. You can really open up the playbook. You can go for a run. You can throw a short pass play, and maybe just a little indecision on there exactly how they wanted to accomplish it. Just didn't look like the players were on the field kind of getting what it is the coaches were calling into them. But good opportunity for them to keep this drive going, and Patriots defense needs to step up if they want to prevent the Lancers from getting any further, of course.
Well, let's give some recognition to the men in stripes here on the field tonight, our San Diego County Football Officials Association. Our referee tonight is Steve James. Umpire is Oscar Gastelum. Headlinesman is Bill Hammett. And, of course, the line judge, a good friend of PlayOn Sports, a former analyst of ours, Scott Countryman. And the back judge tonight is Ben Sherlock. So 3rd down and 4 for Francis at the Christian 23-yard line. 6:28 left to go until halftime. Knotted up at 3 apiece. Francis Parker looking to put some more on the board here and break this tie on a short drop. Harrington fires over the middle, has his man. Jenkins, a nice spin move around, and he may have launched into the end zone. They're going to give it to him, or they're going to call him down at the 1. Jenkins with a great grab and run, and he just made a juke and left somebody in their shoes and nearly found his way into the end zone. They're going to call him down at the 1-yard line as Francis Parker quickly back on the ball. Harrington with the call. This time Jenkins working the right side, bounces outside, touchdown Francis Parker.
Very nice. Yeah, back to that catch and run by Khalil Jenkins. He was going hard toward the middle of the field and then just planted and spun back to the left side and darn near carried it into the end zone. He just kind of went down and bounced across the line, but unfortunately for him, he was already down. But then you give it to Brookins, and Brookins just carries it in. You got your 6 and possibly 7 with his extra point.
Well, the first touchdown of the game, as Schmidt's extra point is perfect. And Francis Parker takes the lead with a score of 10-3 thanks to some fancy maneuvers by Khalil Jenkins at the 6:12 mark of the second quarter.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. You can follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
TC Wardell alongside Mark Grumman from Francis Parker High School in San Diego. That's Ken Hall giving you the bird's eye view of the game. Chris Cashman, our producer tonight. Francis Parker on the board. Somebody finally got into the end zone. 6:12 mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, you get the sense that things are starting to open up, and I'd be curious to see how the Christian Patriots respond, what they do with the ball. You got to believe they got to start passing a little bit. Maybe it's some short ones just to kind of get a little rhythm going with the passing game. They've proven with the run game that they can do it. You know, Owens is doing a nice job running the ball, but they got to balance it out and keep that the Lancers defense on their toes.
And Schmidt kicks this one away. It is a beauty. Belts this one down to the 1-yard line between two players, bounces out, and you better just sit on this one. You don't want to run it out from midway through. So Christian will take over at their own 20-yard line. 6:12 left to go in the second quarter. Francis Parker with a 10-3 lead. And Christian's quarterback, Michael Carrillo, he has struggled on longer passes, longer dropbacks. He's a much better quick passer off the roll or off a 3-step drop. Otherwise, he really has difficulty connecting with his receivers. At least tonight he really has. Last week he struggled as well. His first game, he didn't have over 200 yards passing. He was only 7 for 16 for 56 yards. So, like you said, Mark, maybe some West Coast offense, some short passing, some shots out in the flats and some screen plays might help build his confidence. And so does giving the ball to Rayvon Owens up the middle. I would build my confidence, too, as he powers forward for 10 yards.
Yeah, that's a quick 10 yards right there. Yeah, maybe they can just let Carrillo get back in a shotgun set, just so he's got a little more time to look downfield, find a guy, in the flat or going across the middle, 5-8 yard patterns, again, just to give him a little bit of a rhythm, a little bit of confidence, and then look downfield and try to create some longer passing plays.
So a 9-yard run by Owens puts the ball at the 29-yard line. 2nd and 1. They're going to move Miller in motion across the formation. This time jet sweep. He's going to cut farther inside, power his way forward. It takes 3 brown jerseys to bring him down. But that'll be a first down for Kristen at their own 33-yard line.
Nice quick hitter there. Miller turns it upfield, gets a first down. Christian's putting together a little bit of a drive here. And again, it's if they can keep it moving on the ground, then that's all well and good. You protect the ball that way. But you need to mix it up a little bit if you want to really be effective against a good defense.
They really need to start looking at short and intermediary patterns and not the long home run to George like they typically like to do. So on 1st and 10 from their own 34, Carrillo looking over to his 2 receivers to the left. That's Owens solo in the backfield. Quick pass on the screen. There it is to Miller. Miller at the 30-yard line and is stopped immediately by the outside linebacker and cornerback of Francis Parker, as they kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah, that's Antonio Mendez, the senior defensive back, the cornerback over there. He was right on that play the whole way, and did a great job of closing down as soon as the ball was caught, and actually turned it into about a half-yard loss.
So the screen pass to the right, play that we called didn't work. Obviously, we shouldn't be coaching. 2nd and 11 for Christian now. 2 receivers far side. They're going to give it up the middle again to Owens. Owens going to power his way across the 35-yard line, keeps his feet moving, and gets to close to the 37. So they'll pick up a little bit of that loss back, bringing up a 3rd down and 7. Call it 3rd down and 6.
Good hard running by Owens to pick up some yardage there and move it forward, set up the 3rd and intermediate yardage instead of 3rd and long.
Christian at some point is going to have to get the passing game on track a little bit, so they don't let too many guys in the box for Francis Parker, as Francis Parker's defense is starting to tighten up. And run the jet sweep again to Miller. Miller looking for some room off the left side, finds it, runs right into a man at the 45-yard line, and some hard running by Miller gets the first down for Christian. And Miller a little slow getting up.
Some good hard blocking out there, too. Robert Spearing had a beautiful kick-out block on the outside, and Miller was able to turn it up inside that block to get at the first down yardage. Beautiful play.
So far, Christian's offense, in my estimation, has only run 5 plays, 5 different types of plays.
Yeah, you're pretty right on the money there, TC. It's been pretty conservative and limited in play calling.
Here comes an outside blitz. Carrillo doesn't see it, and he is sandwiched at the 35-yard line. That's Noah Gamboa and friends converging on Carrillo, and this has been his problem, holding the ball too long on these longer pass patterns, or longer developing plays.
Yeah, he really didn't have much time anyway. Gamboa's in there a hurry. Last play it was Spearing making a great block, a kick-out block. That time, Gamboa just went right around him and just shed. Spearing was able to get to the quarterback.
Good job by the Francis Parker defensive coordinator to dial up a blitz that time from the right-hand side. So 2nd and 17 for Christian, facing a long 2nd down here. They're going to give it to Owens and get some room, and Owens breaks the tackle, and he might get a face mask call to go with it across the 40-yard line. Flag came in just as he was being brought down.
Milan Marrero made contact there initially on Owens, and Owens kind of shed him a little bit as he kept moving forward, but I think we might get a little bit of a face mask on that play, and sure enough, that's the call.
So Christian bailed out a little bit with that face mask penalty, going to get an automatic first down.
Yeah, certainly, good call there is the bailout. They just lost about 8 yards on that sack and get a bunch of it back here on the face mask penalty. And they mark it off from the spot of the foul. So
that's right.
It was already about 5 yards, 8 yards up the field, and then so attack on another 15. So that's a big, 20-plus yards on that play alone right there.
Huge opportunity now for Christian off that penalty. 2:44 left to go until halftime, and Christian trailing Francis Parker, 10-3. But now into Lancer territory at the 42-yard line. Carrillo has struggled so far under center. So he's going to give it to Owens up the middle once again. Owens finding plenty of room to run. Gets by 2 men to the 30, to the 20-yard line. Makes a great move at the 15. Back inside goes Owens. What a run in the end zone. Touchdown, Christian Rayvon Owens from 43 yards out. Must have juked at least 4 brown jerseys on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, nice job of looking up and seeing the lanes, and then as he got downfield and saw a blocker, he used him so wisely. Great cut to the outside and just turned the defender around, basically ran the defender into a blocker and allowed himself to be able to get into the end zone.
So Christian looking to tie it up here at the 2:24 mark of the second quarter. Rayvon Owens from 43 yards out on a nifty piece of running. And a low snap. How able to get it down. Powell able to put it through. And we are tied up again here from Francis Parker High School, 10-10 in this Division V matchup between Christian High and Francis Parker.
It's a battle, TC. This is really good. I'm excited to see this. It seems like both teams are starting to wake up offensively, and the running game for both has been super effective.
Well, Owens close to over 100 yards in the first half already off that 43-yard touchdown run. But they've really found a soft spot in this Francis Parker defense between the guards. Because Owens has had a great deal of success tonight running between the guards against Francis Parker. So,
yeah,
give Carrillo some breather. And if he's struggling at quarterback, let Rayvon Owens carry the load.
Well, yeah, thankfully for Carrillo, they do have a guy like Owens in there, and their line is doing a good job opening holes. And just like you said, it's right up the middle. And once you get through that front part of the line, the defensive line, and you can get a little space in front of the linebackers or out in front of the defensive secondary, man, you can make some moves. And we've seen Owens make some nice moves to create some space and pick up big yards, as we just saw a big 42-yard touchdown run. That's beautiful.
Mason Powell teeing it up, ready to kick it off. The dangerous returner is Jenkins standing at his own 10-yard line. That's looking for his partner back there. I can't tell from his jersey number. As Powell with a pooch kick, and they do this constantly at Christian, hoping to get an opportunity to hit immediately out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And that is where Francis Parker's offense will go back to work with 2:22 left to go until halftime. We are knotted up 10 apiece here from Francis Parker High.
Yeah, as soon as Glasser caught that, the defender just popped him and just shoved him right out of bounds, so not much of a return there. Looked like Glasser was going to catch that on the run and take it a little ways, but
Christian in their first game of the season did that pooch kickoff twice against Linfield Christian. Linfield Christian, not thinking it's a live ball, was just waiting for it. It's kind of standing there, and it gave Christian plenty of time to get underneath it, and they recovered 2 of them back to back.
Wow, that's really something. You got to be alert on the receiving end of those.
1st and 10 for Francis Parker. Ball's at their own 30-yard line. They got 2:22 to work with before halftime, and a 10-10 score. As Harrington's going to hand this one off to Brookins. Brookins looking to get to the edge around the right side, but makes a great juke back inside across the 35 to the 37. Pick up a 5 on the play.
He's got such quick feet. He gets going out to the outside there and turns it up so quickly, and he just keeps him churning. Even after he gets contact from a defender, he keeps him going, turns it up, and turns that into a nice 8-yard pickup.
We're seeing 2 great running backs in Brookins and Owens on both sides of the ball here tonight. As Harrington calls off the play, going to go in the gun formation, 2 receivers to the far side. Harrington going deep, plenty of time, throws over the edge, and in and out of the hands of Brookins. He turned his head. He was looking upfield before he brought that ball in.
Yeah, he sure did. He short-armed it, and he could hear footsteps coming. Phillip George was coming hard. He was closing quickly and was going to lay the wood on, but didn't get the opportunity because Brookins dropped the ball.
1:45 left to go until halftime. 2nd and 5. Let's go actually call it 2nd and 3 from their own 37. As Francis Parker looking to move the ball, maybe get one more on before this half is over. 3 receivers set to the far side, and that's where Harrington's looking. Has a man and broken up on the play. That's got to be Paris Miller. He's been all over the field for Christian tonight.
Yeah, that was Miller laying out, getting a hand on that ball and knocking it out of the hands of Childs. Childs had a little bit of room out there, but Miller did a great job closing the gap, getting a hand on the ball.
Well, you look at this game and you're wondering, is it going to be the team with the most endurance in the fourth quarter that's going to pull this one off?
That's a good call because these guys are going, like we said a little bit ago, they're not just going offense, defense, but they're also on special teams.
So Schmidt back at his own 22. He has got a leg and a half ready to boot this away. That is how,
Wow.
and he just skyrockets that one. We're going to let that one go. Takes a bounce straight up in the air, and Gamboa kills it at the 27-yard line. And with 1:31 left to go until halftime, Christian's got one timeout and just a little bit of time to try to move the ball downfield and maybe get in the field goal range and get something through before they head off to the locker room.
Yeah, they'd love that. That's plenty of time. They've got, some timeouts to use, and if they can just manage the ball effectively and get it down the field, this is where their passing game, they really need to get that thing rolling and get some time for Carrillo to find a receiver downfield, pick up some larger chunks. Rayvon Owens is doing all the work right now.
George again, solo to the right. Safety on top of him this time. Back to throw. No, they're going to go with the draw to Owens. Owens, he's been their big play man all night, and he picks up 7 on the play.
And I'm sure he'd tell you he's just fine with that.
Oh.
Guys like that love to get the ball in their hands. They don't care about running a lot or getting hit hard. They just want to run the ball.
And he carried the load 25 times last week for 120 yards, so he doesn't mind taking a lot of snaps. Quickly back on the ball in 2nd and 3 from the 35, and now flags on the field will stop the play. And the clock at 1:06. And Scott Countryman throws the flag. And he makes the offside call against the defense. And that's some more free yardage for you, Mark. 5 yards.
Free is good. I keep saying that. But that also gives a first down to the Christian, and Parker just does not want to help anybody except themselves. They don't want to give up free yards. They don't want to give up first downs so easily.
So 1st and 10, somebody better change that down marker there. Ball's at the 39-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Francis Parker, they pick it up. Carrillo back to throw. He's going deep again for George. George with a step. And in and out of his hands. And a flag comes in late. Oh, the Francis Parker crowd not happy with that late call. As Davin
from
Horn,
both officials, one of the deep back or the side judge as well as the back judge, both threw a flag, so they both saw whatever it was.
Davin Horn, who looked like he was in good defensive position off the pass, is going to be called for pass interference against Francis Parker. And once again, well, hold on, we're moving the ball up the top here. We're going to wait to see what the final indication is. Maybe it was a push-off by George. Right now, I think everybody's confused. I'm not sure what the call is.
It's a 10-yard penalty, so.
Okay. That ball, Carrillo just threw that rainbow, and George almost came down with it.
Check that, 15-yard penalty. Yeah, he almost came down with it. Nice job by the defense to get in there and break it up, but I guess too much contact, and it cost him 15 yards.
So now George solo again. They got a new defensive back on him. That's Glasser, the top cover man. 1st and 10 from the 46, and they're going to go with Owens right up the gut, and Owens bowls his way close to the 40-yard line to the 41. 40 seconds left to go and ticking. Christian got to get back on the ball quick. As Carrillo audibilizing from the line. 2 receivers far side. George solo right. George didn't even move on that play. And that screen pass picked up by Miller. Miller needs to get out of bounds. Gets the first down, and Smart gets across the 35-yard line and out of bounds to stop the clock with 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, heads-up play there by Miller to get out of bounds after picking up the first down. Watching over here on the right side, you've got George lining up as a receiver, and Glasser's playing about 15 yards back. This is where a nice quick out, you can get 7-8 yards at a time, get out of bounds, save your timeouts.
Let's see what they do. They go right to George. George on the screen pass to the 30-yard line. He's got to get out of bounds, and does. Good job. Ooh, that might be a late tackle, but no call on the field as George makes the grab on the screen and smartly runs out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, George showing a little strength there. Glasser had a hold of his jersey, and George was able to run out of it, pick up about another 5 yards before he went out of bounds.
So 13 seconds left to go until halftime. We're knotted up at 10 apiece here from Francis Parker High, and Christian on the drive already close to field goal range. But they want to get at least a little closer to make it a little more of a chip shot. 2 receivers far side. Carrillo under center for the Patriots. Three-step drop, and he's going to go with a draw play up the middle of Owens. Owens squeaks through. I don't know how he got through that, the first wave, and across the 20 to the 18-yard line. And a timeout on the field by Christian with 7 seconds left to go until the halftime. And right about now, they may run one more play. Possibly. They have one timeout to use with 7 seconds left. So they'll possibly run one more play, maybe a shot at the end zone before settling for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. With 7 seconds, you know, you probably want to get him in a shotgun, though, so he doesn't have to take the time to drop back. And just toss one into the corner of the end zone, take a shot there. Just as long as you got a 1 second left, you can set up and kick a field goal if you're unable to complete the pass.
But even with one timeout left, that gives them somewhat of an advantage, even if they decide to run the ball. From here, it would be a 35-yard field goal attempt, and that's in Miller's range. Rather, that Mason Powell's range, pardon me.
Yeah, kickers from both sides have showed that they've got some pretty decent range here. So, and they've executed the point afters very, very nicely. I mean, good snap, good hold, good kick. So they're certainly capable of getting it done, but I'm sure they would prefer to have 6, don't you think?
No question about it. 7 seconds left to go until halftime. Carrillo under center, three-step drop, looking down. He's going to the corner for his man, and incomplete. As both defender and receiver, that was George again, kind of tussling as Mayberry helps to make the stop. And with 2 seconds left until halftime, it looks like we're going to get a field goal attempt from about 35 yards from Mason Powell of Christian and see if he can break this tie.
Yeah, I think George is a little lucky out there. He's battling with Mayberry. He didn't get called for a push-off because he certainly extended the arms to get himself a little bit of room, but no call, no flag.
He had a little bit of brown jersey in his hand. There's no question about that. As Powell lines this one up to kick, this will end the first half, looking to take the lead and break this 10-10 deadlock. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up. And it is good. Powell drilling it from 35 yards out. And we go into the half with a 13-10 Christian lead. And, folks, that's the end of the first half of play. As Christian on that 35-yard field goal by Powell gives the Patriots the lead going into the locker room, 13-10. Folks, we'll be back in just a few moments with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, so don't go anywhere. It's Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. And welcome back to Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. PlayOn Sports, your destination for high school sports. We are at halftime here from Francis Parker as Christian on a 35-yard field goal by Mason Powell gives the Patriots a 13-10 lead at the break. And so far, Mark, it has been a defensive battle and a lot of running backs. A lot of Rayvon Owens and Jenkins, but Jesse Brookins.
Yeah, between the two of them, they're pretty much chewing up the yardage for their respective teams. Not much of a passing game really happening for either side, which kind of is surprising, at least for Parker. You got Harrington and some really good receivers over there, but credit Christian for disrupting any kind of an opportunity for a passing game. Fortunately for both sides, like you said, they both have good running backs. Their lines are blocking and opening holes, and they get a little bit of a drive going. But neither team has really, found a good rhythm to where they've established that they're in control. So who knows? Maybe second half we'll see what they dial up in the locker room. Maybe both teams will come out here just looking totally different, and we'll see a little more something similar to what they had in the semifinal last year, where they scored over 100 points combined.
Well, for the first quarter and a half of this ball game, all either team did was trade field goals. 3-3 with about 6 minutes left to go. And things started opening up for both teams. We saw the running game. Brookins for Francis Parker. Rayvon Owens with a tremendous 43-yard touchdown run for Christian. And then Christian on the final drive of the game. There's a lot of turnovers, too. A lot of balls being coughed up. I mean, it tells me there's a lot of hard-hitting defense going on. But Christian in the final minute was able to drive down and give Mason Powell an opportunity to drill a 35-yard field goal, which gave Christian the 13-10 lead going into the locker room. Second half, Mark, a lot of the same, or are we going to start seeing the passing game open up a little bit?
Yeah, it'd be kind of exciting, of course, to see the passing game open up a little bit. Neither side has really established the ability. Again, the defensive pressure has prevented either quarterback from getting any open looks for his receivers. So it would be nice to see that. Both sides, they have the running game working. But it's going to be, I think, a matter of who can actually complement their running game with a little bit of a passing game to pull away in this game. But, who knows? Maybe it'll be more of the same. It'll just be a struggle down to the end. But I guess it's still another half of football to determine what the outcome will be.
There's been a tight-knit, hard-fought first half between these two Division V talents, both ranked 1 and 2 in the San Diego section of Division V. Christian, last year's Division V champion. Francis Parker looking to unseat him right here tonight. So that's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Friday Night Football will return in just a few moments with the start of the second half, right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And we are back here from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. We are about ready to kick off the third quarter of play here in this Division V matchup between Christian High and Francis Parker, where the Patriots hold a 13-10 lead coming out of halftime. And they will be the recipients of the kickoff as Schmidt's kick is just drilled down to the 1 yard line. Christian going to take it off here in the fake reverse. And what a huge hole there is from George. And George across the 36 on the fake reverse to Owens fooled Francis Parker. And it gives the Patriots great field position on their first possession of the second half.
Yeah, that was a really nice fake. Miller coming around, and it just enough to freeze Parker and allow George to get some good yardage and set up nice field position to open up this second half.
So Christian with a 13-10 lead starting the third quarter. That'll be junior quarterback Michael Carrillo under center. He has been under serious duress in the first half. Owens has been the workhorse so far for this team. It's Miller, and Owens gets the call off the right guard. He has got room down the midfield. Ready to run. Now it's a track meet to the end zone to the 25, and he is going to outrun the secondary. And on the first play from scrimmage of the second half, they're going to call him down at the 1 yard line.
Wow. I'm thinking if there was they had a replay or review that they might give him that. It sure looked like he got across the line, but they had a better view than we did.
No, they did. No possible way. He didn't cross the goal line. I don't know how they called that one.
I imagine he's going to do it right here. Just, it's just a formality now. But, wow, what a great opening play for Christian to come out and immediately make an impact.
66-yard run by Owens on the first play of the second half. First and goal from the 1. Owens going to get the call again off the right tackle. This time it's fair and official. And Owens with his second touchdown of the game. And Christian extends their lead to 19-10 early in the third quarter.
Wow.
Owens has just exploded over the last few plays. 43-yard touchdown run to come near the end of the second quarter. Right here to begin the third quarter, he tramples 66 yards and then hits the 1 yard touchdown run. I don't know how he didn't get in the end zone.
Yeah, give credit to, who was that, Mayberry, who kept running with him and was able to drag him down.
So Powell in for the extra point attempt. This kick is up, and it is good. And just like that, to start the third quarter, Christian extends the lead to 20-10 with 11:25 left to go. We got a whole lot of football left in this ball game.
Yeah, I guess if you got a running game like that, who needs to throw it, right?
Last year, these two teams played in the Division V semifinals. 61-42 was the final. The halftime score was 13-10 here. So defense kind of ruled the roost in the first half. Well, we may see a change about here in the second half of game field. Already 30 points on the board.
Yeah, Christian has done their part to exact a little change here.
As Owens closing in on 200 yards rushing for the night.
Well, yeah, 100 yards plus on 2 carries alone.
Yeah. And that offensive line of Christian really starting to take hold here. They may be starting to push this Francis Parker front seven around a little bit. As Powell teased it up at the 40-yard line. Still 11:25 left to go. We are just underway here in the third quarter for Francis Parker High as Christian has extended the lead to 20-10 thanks to Rayvon Owens, who has had a tremendous night at tailback for the Patriots.
And that's 13 unanswered points there for the Patriots.
As Powell lines it up, another pooch kick, and they're trying to get under it as quickly as they can. Ball's picked up by Glasser at the 30. Glasser looking to dance around close to the 40. A good return. And they'll put the ball at the 38-yard line, and that is where Parker will take it 1st and 10 on their first possession of the second half. Let's see if they can duplicate what Christian did on their first possession.
Yeah, they definitely need to at least get a sustained drive here. Hopefully put some points on the board so that they don't let it get away from them. But they've got to answer back quickly.
Gabe Harrington, the quarterback for the Francis Parker Lancers, 6'4", 210 senior, leads the Chargers up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to run a quick offense. They do not huddle. They get the play call from the sidelines as Harrington sends 2 receivers to the wide side of the field. Gamboa slides over to the right in the offset eye, and they're going to give it to Jenkins off the left side. Jenkins dancing around and spins away up to the 44-yard line. 2 really talented running backs here tonight. Jenkins for Brookins for Francis Parker, Ron Owens for Christian.
Yeah, both showing great quickness once they get the ball in their hands of finding an opening and getting it upfield.
2nd and 6. Ball's at the 44-yard line. Movement on the line of scrimmage, and they may catch Christian into the neutral zone. Scott Countryman with the call. He's the line judge here tonight. And that's exactly what it is. The eagle eyes of Scott Countryman. Catches Christian in the neutral zone. That'll be 5 free yards. Those are grooming free yards here tonight. And that'll be a first down for Francis Parker. And the ball's at the 49-yard line of the Lancers. This time they're going to run the counter to Brookins. Brookins was across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Got some nice blocking from the right side of the offensive line. And Brookins has enough for another first down.
Really like the way he runs. I mean, I keep talking about his feet, but you watch his eyes are always looking forward and downfield, looking for the openings, looking for somewhere to go, and he makes such quick movements, and that's going to be negated by a hold. But still, I mean, that was a fantastic run right there.
And that's Coach John Morrison pleading his case to line judge Scott Countryman. That's 2 consecutive flags that he's thrown. And that's one battle that Coach Morrison is not going to win. And the yardage that Francis Parker had made is now going to be all negated, and they're going to send the ball back to the 40-yard line of the Lancers. And it's going to be 1st and 18. So Harrington sets back under center. Tight end right. Harrison looking to throw. And Harrington fires off a high wobbler. And Mark Grumman may get that catch. That ball went well into the stands. And if Mark had dived for it, he might have had a chance for that one.
You know, back in the day.
Harrington basically throwing that one away. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and long from their own 40-yard line. They got to get to the 41 of Christian for a first down.
Yeah, Harrington was under really heavy pressure and got hit as he was releasing that. He never got to really have a follow-through, so that ball just floated and sailed out of bounds.
So Jenkins and Childs sets to the left side. That's the wide side. Harrington looked back to throw. He's going to go short side. Solo receiver. There's this man. Got him at the 30-yard line and dropped. In and out of the arms of Ayman Mayberry. Mayberry had a step on his man. Made the diving catch attempt, but couldn't hang on, and the ball will fall incomplete, bringing 3rd down and long.
That was a really nice throw by Harrington. He laid it up there right out to where Mayberry could run underneath it. Mayberry did. He just didn't catch it. He was so open. It hit him right in the hands. And then, you know, sometimes those happen. And you know Mayberry wants another shot at that one. He was wide open. Beautiful throw, and it just didn't fall into his hands.
Both teams looking at the short side of the field where they get solo coverage. This time they're going to send 2 receivers to the short side. 4 receivers into the pattern. They got Brookins on Harrington's left hip pocket. 3rd and 20 now. Harrington plenty of time. Pump fake's going to put it up deep down the left side. What a gun this kid's got. He got a man open. And the ball is dropped by the intended receiver at the 15-yard line. That is Khalil Jenkins. Oh, no, pardon me. That is Nathaniel Abernathy. First time we've called his name. And the ball just a little short. But Abernathy should have come up with that one.
Catchable. And Harrington's going, God, what do I got to do to get somebody to catch a pass around here? Those were 2 really well-thrown balls. Wide open receivers. They got to the guys, and they just didn't catch them. I mean, just simple as that. And Harrington, you know, he's sick about it. And you know the guys on the other end, the receivers that didn't catch it, are feeling badly. And
here comes Harrington going to go talk to his receivers a little bit.
Come on, man.
Stick them, guys. Schmidt standing in his own 25-yard line, ready to kick it away. This kid can boot it. Big rush. And an end-over-end kick. Going to be a little short. Going to hit at about the 30-yard line. Takes a Francis Parker bounce down close to the 15-yard line. So Schmidt with an outstanding punt will pin the Christian offense back at their own 15-yard line with 10:01 left to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Christian 20, Francis Parker 10.
Hey, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups just like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Well, tell your school to sign up for PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
So the Christian offense back on the field. They didn't spend much time on their first possession. 2 plays, and Rayvon Owens went 66 yards and covered most of the territory they needed. So with a 20-10 lead, Christian back on offense. And back at their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Miller in motion. And they're going to give Miller on the jet sweep again, trying to find the edge, and not much there. As Francis Parker wraps him up at about the 17-yard line. 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8 for Christian.
And now Christian's in a nice position, 10-point lead. I mean, there's still a lot of game left to play, but they can just take their time, let Miller and Owens handle the ball, let them run it, keep it on the ground, and just maybe try to open up a little bit with Carrillo to try to get some passing.
2 receivers wide side. They're going to go up the middle with Owens again, and Owens just pushing people back and powers his way across the 25 to the 26, and that should be enough for another Christian 1st down.
Yeah, they're giving it to him. Move those chains, eat up clock. I mean, this is just, textbook when you got a lead.
The interior offensive line of Christian really doing the job now. I think they're wearing down this Francis Parker front four. And I'll tell you, the one person who really stands out for Francis Parker is their big defensive tackle, the 6'7", 245 senior Bryce Fitzner. He's a big man.
He's a big, tall guy. Kind of interesting that they got him in the middle of the defensive line and not out in the kind of like defensive end.
1st and 10. Guess who gets the call again up the middle? That is Mr. Owens. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. As Christian's content to keep the ball running, as Owens has been extremely successful here tonight, pushing 200 yards rushing with 8:49 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong. You've got a line that's creating holes. You got a running back like Owens who can hit them hard and find space. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
So, 2nd and a long 6 for Christian. Ball's at their own 29. 2 receivers set near to the far side. Inside counter play. Trying to get some room. That's Spearing. And Spearing just taking everybody with him, the entire defensive unit. Ball stripped loose. But they're going to call Spearing down.
No, I didn't hear a whistle.
Neither did I. And it didn't look like he was even down. His knee was down. Coach John Morrison for Francis Parker, not happy with that non-call, as well as the Francis Parker contingent in front of us.
Yeah, his momentum, his forward progress wasn't really completely stopped. He was still battling. There was a lot of guys wrapped up and hanging on him, but he was still trying to move forward. So I think Christian got a break right there.
So on 3rd and inches from their own 36-yard line, Carrillo under center. Owens single step back. Owens will get the call off the right side. Owens just breaks one tackle across the 40-yard line, puts his head down, and moves Childs and gets the 1st down. When you need a yard or yard and a half, who's the man you're going to go to? That's Owens.
You never know, because that yard and a half could easily turn into 65 and a touchdown. And, yeah, he went through that line, and he hit Childs head on. And Childs was pushed backwards and ends up in a 1st down for the Patriots.
And Childs comes off the field to the sideline. 1st and 10 for Christian. Ball's at their own 40-yard line. 7:23 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And Christian with a 20-10 lead. As Carrillo sends Miller in motion across the formation. They're going to go with Owens again, the workhorse. He works off the right guard, rather the left guard, and fights his way up to the 44-yard line for a 4-yard pickup. And, boy, it's going to be a steady diet of Rayvon Owens for Christian.
Yeah, and again, with the lead and time running, why not? You might as well just keep the ball on the ground, let the clock run. I mean, they could conceivably at this rate run out the 3rd quarter on this one drive if they can continue to hang on to the ball and not, create any turnovers or commit stupid penalties.
Well, Christian's front line starting to wear down this Francis Parker defense. And they're going to go up the middle again with Owens. Owens bounces off one man and just keeps his legs moving to midfield and close to a Christian 1st down. We'll see where they mark the ball. Just shy of midfield, inches short of the sticks. And that'll bring up 3rd down in a Snickers bar.
Sounds delicious.
So Christian using the ground attack. Heck, not even using the ground attack. They're just using Owens. He's our one guy. And letting him carry the load for the Patriots offense.
Yeah, off guard, off tackle, just straight up the middle.
Yeah, no, they're not even staying outside the tackles. They're just keeping it, wedging it right inside. And credit to the offensive line, especially the interior line of Christian, just blowing open holes for him. So 3rd and inches from the 49-yard line for Christian. 6:03 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. Christian with a 10-point lead. As Carrillo going to give it this time to Miller. Miller met at the line of scrimmage and spins away across midfield just enough for a Christian 1st down. That'll move the chains and keep the clock moving.
So effective. They just keep moving it. I mean, you figure you need 10 yards for a first down. If you can average about 3.5, a play, you just keep getting first down after first down. And with the running backs that they have and the line that's creating openings, I mean, that's effectively what they've done. They've run off almost 5 minutes here on this, and they start around the 15-yard line. So a 35-yard drive taking about 5 minutes and still going.
Francis Parker starting to load the box a little bit as Howell goes in motion. Second back through is Miller. Miller spins off one tackle at the 45 and gets across the 40 on a nice piece of power running by Paris Miller, and that's close to another Christian first down.
Yeah, maybe about a half yard short, but I mean, again, 9 yards, and now it's second and short, and right here, I mean, not that I think I would mess with what they're doing because the run's effective, but right here is a great opportunity for them to just take a shot downfield. I mean, look at all the guys. This defense is all packed in, waiting for the run, and you've just set yourself up for a nice passing play. And who knows? They got them kind of spread out.
Check George downside, and there's a fumbled snap, and Miller quickly jumps on it at the 42-yard line. Loss of 2, but at least Christian was able to maintain possession of the football. Yeah. And speaking of what you were saying, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the wide receivers of Christian and seeing what kind of coverage they're getting. George again gaining single coverage with Glasser on the right side on that play. You got to think they're going to take at least one shot downfield.
Yeah, you got to believe they've got to try. Now with the third and short, you need 3 yards. Just give it to Owens and get your first down, and then just try another. Wait till the next set of first downs.
Almost 8 in the box this time as the secondary has clamped down. Blitz coming from the middle. You're seeing it come from the A gap. And now Carrillo backs out and is going to junk the play and audibilize. And now a flag down, and that's exactly right, partner. Too much time. And with the fumble snap and now another 5 yards, that's going to bring up a third down and 8 for Christian. And that's going to really slow down this drive.
Yeah, that's just youth. It's inexperience. Carrillo, again, like you said, first year as a starter, just a junior. Getting his feet wet, trying to get his quarterbacking legs underneath him while he learns how to be the quarterback and be the leader of this offense. And that's just a little bit of inexperience showing right there.
And he's filling in for Shane Dillon, who graduated and moved on to Colorado. Back to throws Carrillo. He's looking to the right side, and that's his man, George. And he and George were not on the same page. As Carrillo threw it to the outside, George was curling inside. And there you have it. A Christian drive that was looking so promising comes to a screeching halt, bringing a fourth down and a punting situation for the Patriots.
Yeah, how quickly that turned. I mean, it just looked like they were marching down the field. And, a simple little mistake, a fumble, and then a penalty, and everything's just gone by the wayside.
You don't want to give this Francis Parker football team an opportunity. 4:03 left to go in the third quarter. Christian with a 10-point lead, but now having to punt it away. And Glasser standing in his own 10-yard line. That time might have a rocket punt. Going to bounce to the 10 and go sideways. That's going to die. Unbelievable. At the 1-yard line.
Wow.
How did that ball do that? That thing had eyes.
That was some kind of a bounce. It got to the goal line and then turned left hard.
It took a 90-degree angle when it hit inside the 5. Didn't go into the end zone and went straight out of bounds as if it meant to go that way. And it didn't just go a couple yards. It went 6-7 yards directly out of bounds. You couldn't recreate that after doing it 100 times.
No, you couldn't. That was incredible.
When things go your way, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. Unbelievable punt. And that is why the football is the oblong shape it is. Take some crazy bounces. They are at the half-yard line. Francis Parker's going to have to take over off one of the most miraculous punts I've ever seen. And pinned down deep is the Lancer offense. 1st and 10. They got to get out of there, and they're going to give it to Brookins, and he barely gets over the goal line out to about the 1. And that was Gamboa on the carry.
Yeah, they got to be careful there. I mean, they're right up on the goal line. They can't afford to make any kind of a miscue or anything. They just got to get themselves some room. I mean, they'll be happy, I'm sure, just to get a little ways out and have a decent, chance to get a good punt. But
I've never seen that. That is absolutely the most miraculous punt I've ever seen. The ball had eyes on that play. It was going right out at the half-yard line. 2nd and 8, or a long 8 for this Francis Parker team. Ball's at the 1.5-yard line. They got to get out of there. Looking to throws Harrington. Has a man out in the flat and drilled immediately. The ball separated from the receiver, Jenkins. But right on the play was George to separate the receiver from the ball.
Yeah, George closed again real quickly and was able to put a lick on Jenkins. Jenkins was trying to turn up before he actually had possession of the ball. And you just got to wait, man. It's hard. When you know there's a defender coming and you want to catch and go, it's hard to wait, and that's what we saw right there.
Well, right now they are in the danger zone, 3rd and a long 8 from their own 1.5-yard line. Harrington sends 3 receivers to the wide side left. He sits under center, and he rolls to the left, looking for someone to throw to. Plenty of time. Looks over the middle, has a man at the 10-yard line. Nice grab. Jenkins again, and brought down at the 10 by Miller. Miller still down. Should be enough for a first down. I believe he got to the sticks.
Looks like he got it. Yeah, nice job of Harrington to roll out and get himself a little extra time and find Jenkins just open down the field a little ways, pick up the first down. And that's big. That's really big for Parker to be basically on the goal line and having to try to get out of there. And, they've got themselves a first down, and maybe they got something going here.
Miller jogs off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay for Christian. Well, he has played offense, defense, special teams. He has been Mr. Everything for this football team. And he's got to be cramping up as he's back on his.
Yeah, he's down trying to stretch over there.
But for Francis Parker, on a great pass connection to Jenkins, first down from their own, looks like from their own 10, 11-yard line. 2:25 left to go in the third quarter. Francis Parker trailing 10. Heavy pressure. Harrington's got to get rid of it. He does.
That was
and
picked
was that
off.
Intercepted? It was intercepted by Christian. George on the pick. Harrington under heavy pressure. He just got rid of it to his left. George just swooped in to take it, and now Christian in a position to maybe lock this down deep in Francis Parker territory. 2:16 left to go in the third.
Yeah, such a dangerous throw. I mean, he had guys hanging on him. He just lofted it out there. And when you're backed up to your own goal line, of course, if he had hung on to it, he probably would have been tackled for a safety. But, I guess the 2 points wouldn't have been so bad compared to the 6 they may give up right here.
Ball set at the 9-yard line. Christian now with an opportunity. They give it to Owens, the workhorse, down the middle. Owens spins forward for about 3 yards. Just inside the 5-yard line.
Milan Marrero made a nice tackle to prevent Owens from taking that all the way in.
2nd and goal. Ball is marked at about the 6-yard line. Call it the 7. Carrillo under center. Christian with a 10-point lead. Looking to add on. As Owens, sole setbacks. 2 receivers to the far side. And Owens runs into a wall, sneaks forward, finds a crease, and gets maybe a yard on the play as this Francis Parker defense starting to clamp down between the guards. That's going to make it a 3rd down and goal from the 6.
One of the few times the Parker defensive line has kind of held their own against the offensive line of the Patriots.
There's going to be a huge goal line stand here if they can accomplish this and try to force a field goal attempt for Christian. So Francis Parker digging deep in the trenches. 3rd and goal from the 5. And Rayvon Owens up the middle again. They're just going to give it to the man, and he's going to be close, probably about 1.5 yards shy of the goal line. And that's going to bring up a 4th down as we start to get to the close of the third quarter, 55 seconds and counting. And here, what does Christian do?
I say they go for it. I mean, they're not bringing it in. I would, if I'm coach over there, I'm going for it. When you got a guy like Owens who's picking up 3, 4, 5 yards easily pretty much every time he touches it, you might as well go for it. You got if you don't get it, you've got Parker backed up all the way against the goal line yet again. So I just think it's a no-brainer.
Let's see if Coach Matt Oliver agrees. They're going to burn a timeout here and talk about it a little bit. 27 seconds left in the third quarter. Christian knocking on the door for another score as they lead Francis Parker 20-10.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
T.C. Wardell alongside Mark Grumman from Francis Parker High School on a perfect Friday evening in San Diego, California. And we're glad you're joining us. As we've seen a tremendous ball game here between 2 Division V powers. Christian undefeated and on a 8-game winning streak. with a 20-10 lead over Francis Parker and looking to add on, facing a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. And like you said, Mark, a little bit earlier, you feel this is a no-brainer. They're going to go for it here and try to just lock this game down and put it away.
Yeah, the way they've controlled the ball this quarter, they've had the ball pretty much the entire quarter. Parker had a little bit, but that opening drive took a bunch of time. Then they got it right back and took it all the way down the field and scored.
I'm sorry, Mark.
I was going to say, they're going to just punch.
And now the Lancers.
And he's been making lots of plays this quarter. He was the one that got in there in the backfield first off and was able to get a hand on Owens, impede his progress just enough for the rest of the defense to get there. So certainly a moral victory for the Lancers.
So the Lancers, again, backed up deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 from their own 4. Harrington going to give this ball to Brookins. Brookins looking down the right side. And Brookins has some room to run. Across one man, spins away, almost broke another tackle up to the 20-yard line. 15-yard pickup for Brookins. And here comes Francis Parker. I tell you, right now, momentum and adrenaline's got to be on the side of this Lancer football team.
Yeah, that was a pretty dramatic and swift change of direction and momentum. And you got to love the way, Parker, after making that defensive stand, immediately comes out and has a big play on offense.
And as we say that, they have a Francis Parker player down, one of the interior linemen.
So it looks like their big tight end / defensive lineman, Bryce Fitzner.
Oof, the big 6'7", 245 two-way player, not a guy they can afford to have out of the game.
No, certainly not. You never want to lose anybody, of course, but you got a key guy especially.
So 4 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Christian, who had an opportunity to possibly put this one out of reach, denied at the goal line by the Francis Parker defense. And now the Lancers, trailing by 10, will have an entire quarter left to get 2 opportunities to score. And boy, Christian had a great chance there and really blew it. It's a tough call, but I think I probably would agree with you to go for it.
Yeah, I think obviously they didn't make it, but I still make the same call. You're gonna go for it. You got the running back that you have. Francis Parker, man, they just stepped up and made a great defensive play and got the ball back, and that's just a huge boost for their morale, and they've got momentum going their direction. Unfortunately, though, they've lost a key player, and it's going to be up to one of the Francis Parker Lancers to step in and pick him up and fill that void.
Yeah, Fitzner, a good thing, is coming off the field on his own power, but he is really hobbling. And hopefully he has nothing too serious, and he'll be back on the field at some point in the near future. But right now, Francis Parker with a 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. 14 seconds left to go in the third quarter. They put an extra 10 seconds back on the clock. Big Gabe Harrington, their 6'4" senior trigger man, looking to lead this team downfield and narrow this gap. And back to throws Harrington. He finds out in the flat. He's got his man Childs. Childs to the 25, tries to juke. Gets by one man, gets by another, and finally brought down the 30-yard line. He worked hard for those 3 extra yards.
He sure did. He kept his shoulders upfield and kept trying to battle. And a great job for him to pick up a big 9 yards, set up 2nd and short.
And that'll do it for quarter number 3. We go to the fourth quarter with Christian and a 20-10 lead over Francis Parker here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Yeah, and PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school, playoff, and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here.
And we'd like to thank our videographer tonight, Ken Hall, and of course our producer, Chris Cashman, doing a tremendous job here for Play On Sports. Division 5 powerhouses going at it. as Christian, the defending Division V champion, with a 20-10 lead against Francis Parker going into the fourth quarter. And right now, momentum after that goal line stand by Francis Parker are definitely on the side of the Lancers as they're trying to move this ball downfield. They've got 12 minutes to get 2 scores.
Yeah, that's key right there, TC. They got to score. They got to get it back. I mean, and so say they get down and even just get a field goal, they still got to stop Christian from putting together a long, sustained drive. There's only 12 minutes left. They've got to get the ball back 2 times and score. And that's the way this game has gone so far, especially that third quarter. Christian has controlled the clock by running the ball.
And it is a 2-prong attack. Like you said, not only do you have to score, but then you need to stop Rayvon Owens in that Christian offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
2nd and a foot for Francis Parker. Ball's at the 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. They're going to run the bubble screen. Got it out to Childs. Childs in the pitch pass. He's going to get to Jenkins. He lofts that one up and nearly intercepted, and a great job by Jenkins to break up the interception. Boy, Childs just lofted that ball high in the air. He had Jenkins early, but a good job of closing on the play. I believe it was that Spearing?
Spearing was the one that got up there. And I was kind of looking at that throw. It almost looked like it went forward, the first one. I mean, it's got to be a backwards pass so that for the receiver to be able to throw it down the field. Obviously, the referees are right on the line, so.
3rd and a yard here for Francis Parker. They're going to run this ball, try to get this first down. Who do you give it to? You give it to your Brookins, your big running back. Gets to the edge of the 40, 50, cuts back inside and brought down the 48-yard line of Christian. So when you need a yard, he'll get you about 20.
Yeah, he accelerated away from the defensive lineman, was able to get outside and turn the corner. He had some nice blocking downfield. Khalil Jenkins had his man tangled up and was putting on a block. Maybe had a little bit of jersey with him, but, you keep your hands inside. The officials can't see that.
Yep. So Brookins trying to match his counterpart, Rayvon Owens, in running tonight. A big pickup into Christian territory to the 48-yard line. Francis Parker has it 1st and 10, trailing by 10, and just underway here in the fourth quarter. Harrington under center, sets his running backs in an offset eye position. That's Brookins dotting the I. Gamboa at fullback. Jenkins solo left. They're going to give it to, on the counterplay, to Brookins. Brooklyn's being pushed and carried by his offensive lineman. That is Mickey Miller, who pretty much grabbed Brookins and pushed him about for an extra 3 extra yards.
A little help from his friends.
I thought Miller was going to make the tackle. He had his arms all over his running back. Little help here and there. That's 2nd down and 7. Ball's at the 45-yard line of Christian. This time, Brookins, the sole set back, 2 receivers far side. Harrington, the big quarterback, looking to his right, has a man in the flat, connects at the 40. Down to Mayberry. Mayberry gets down to the 36, and that'll be enough for a first down. And here comes Francis Parker.
The other thing, you get your first down, that stops the clock until they move the chains. If Parker's alert and moving quickly, then they can be up to the line by the time they roll the clock again.
So the Lancer offense on the move, 10:29 left to go in this final quarter, and Francis Parker trailing by 10. There's 2 receivers set to the near side. 6'4" quarterback on the roll to the left, looking left, heavy pressure. He's just dumping that one long. He's got a man. That's Childs. Can he stay in bounds? He does! Childs tight ropes the sideline on that catch. Keeps his feet in bounds. And a huge play for the Lancers as the catch is down to the 10-yard line. And, boy, Francis Parker in business.
Wow, he did such a nice job. He was hanging there with his toes on the sideline waiting for that ball to come down. Just keeping his balance long enough for it to come and land in his hands. But I don't know if you saw the hit that Harrington took. Rayvon Owens has been doing a great job carrying the ball. He laid a lick on Harrington when he got rid of the ball just there.
So Harrington will remember that one a little bit later tonight, but he's happy about the catch and play. Now the ball's at the 10-yard line, 1st and 10. As they're rolling out to his right as Harrington looking downfield in the flat, has a man in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Francis Parker. A great throw by Harrington right near the pylon, and Henry Childs comes up with it. And before you know it, the Lancers are right back in this ball game, 20-16 with 10:03 left to go.
How quickly it turned.
And it starts with that goal line stand that turned Christian away at the 2-yard line.
Heck of a drive there by the Lancers, closing the gap to within 3 with that extra point going through. And 10 minutes left to go. They're in good position, and they do possess all the momentum right now.
We got a ball game, folks. Francis Parker narrows the gap, trails by 3, 20-17, with 10:03 left to go in the contest.
And you nailed it, TC. That was just an outstanding throw. The front corner of the end zone, really low. The only person who could have caught that ball was Hank Childs, and that's right. He was right where he could get down and get it. Nobody else could get their hands on it. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and Parker's right back in this ball game.
Christian on their heels a little bit on defense. I can believe both teams a little fatigued now. A lot of two-way players. And right now, Francis Parker feeling the adrenaline. They might be a little bit more better conditioned right at this point in time. As now it's Christian's turn to counter. And it's really been the Rayvon Owens show for this Patriot offense.
And that's what they needed to continue to be if they want to keep Parker at bay. They need to get control of the ball. You know, they haven't shown that they can throw it, so it's going to be all up to Owens, who just had a long defensive stand right there, having to go all the way downfield and while Parker went and scored. And now he's going to be back on the offensive side of the ball, running pretty much probably every play.
Well, Schmidt puts his big right leg into this one. And George at the 1-yard line, going to pick it up. Going to try to look for some room up the middle of the field. And great coverage by the Francis Parker team. And leading the charge was Antonio Mendez on special teams, making the stop at about the 17-yard line. And this Francis Parker team is feeling it right now.
Yeah, you can. When you're the ones with the momentum, you really feel it. And they are certainly showing that they are confident and that this game is theirs if they can just go out and take it back.
Lancers would like nothing better than to exact some revenge on their 62-41 loss in last year's Division V semifinals and end this 8-game winning streak for Christian. So Michael Carrillo under center. He has been under pressure all night, and he does what he's been doing best, is handing the ball to Owens. Owens finding room up the middle of the field and pushing the pile to just over the 25-yard line, and that'll be close to another first down. Owens just seems to have energy to boot.
Yeah, he's coming into this game averaging 5.3 yards a carry. He's got to be averaging double that. I mean, obviously he's had 2 really big long runs, but even if you take those 2 away, he's getting 8, 9, 10 yards a chunk at a time. So it's really crazy.
He's going to be close to the half-century mark in rushing, or half-thousand mark in rushing by the end of the night. 2nd and 1 from the 25-yard line. Christian got to hang on to this football. Owens gets the call again and is swarmed by brown jerseys, but he's going to get a couple yards and enough for a first down to keep the chains and the clock moving at 9:13 left to go in the fourth.
Yeah, you just know that Coach Oliver would be completely happy if that's all they did, is just keep the chains moving, keep the clock running, keep it on the ground. You know, you do have the advantage with your running game right now. You have the lead. It's only 3, but you keep the ball moving, you keep the clock running, and that's their friend right now.
Precarious 3-point lead for this Christian football team. They had a nail biter last week. They got another one here tonight. 1st and 10 from the 26. Heavy pressure on Carrillo, and he's able to get it off. But defensively, Francis Parker all over it. And they were lucky. Owens was lucky to get a couple yards out of that. If not that, if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he caught that in the backfield. Noah Gamboa hit him, but he was able to push forward and actually pick up about a half yard. Fortunate that they didn't get tackled in the backfield.
Now remember, this Carrillo is filling in for Shane Dillon, last year's senior starter, who's moved on to the University of Colorado. Dillon throwing for over 3,000 yards last year and led his team to a Division V champion. So big shoes to fill for Michael Carrillo.
Yeah, absolutely.
On 2nd and 10, here comes the blitz. Picked up. Carrillo's got time. Fires over to Spearing. Spearing with a catch and run and across the 40-yard line, and it looks like a first down for Christian.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was really pretty big time by Carrillo to stand in there under that pressure and wait till his man came open. That was nice right there. That was a flash of what could be. And a really nice touch on that pass with pressure coming, finding his man crossing the middle and picking up the first down.
Now, Carrillo struggled last week, but his first 2 games of the season threw for over 200 yards in each. So you know the talent is there. So a first down, ball at the 40-yard line of Christian. They keep the clock running. 7:57 left to go in the fourth. They're holding on to a 3-point lead. Let's give it to Owens up the middle again, and that's what they do. Owens across the 40 to at the 43-yard line. Chewing up clock, chewing up yards. don't want to give Francis Parker an opportunity here to score.
No, you sure don't. You want to take this down as far as you can into the other end of the field, and in the meantime, you run the clock.
Christian taking their sweet time in the huddle. Will come out slow. 7:30 left to go in this ball game. Christian with a 20-17 lead over Francis Parker. Lancers digging in on defense. 8 men in the box, 2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz by Gamboa. And Owens driving off the left guard. He'll pick up another couple yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 for Christian.
It's a big play right here for both sides.
Play.
I mean, this is Parker's opportunity to get the ball back, or it's Christian's opportunity to keep the chains moving. You know, you can see what they run here. Last time they had a nice little pick up with a pass play. Curious to see what they call this time.
2 tight end set. Curillo under center. Miller in motion. They're going to give it on the jet sweep again. He's going to try to work inside. They got him in the backfield. Oh, the left side of the Francis Parker defense. They'd seen enough of Miller tonight on that jet sweep, and they just called that one up. And they dump Miller for a 3-yard loss. Christian's going to have to kick it away again. And now Francis Parker with a second set of new life. 9 lives for this football team, and an opportunity now with 6:15 to roll this win and possibly tie it with a field goal or take the lead with a touchdown.
Yeah, huge play there. Milan Marrero coming around the left side there and just sealing it off and not giving Miller anywhere to go.
See if they come out at Spearing in trouble, can't hold on to it. He's got to get rid of the ball. And he does a great job by Spearing to dump it up to the 40-yard line. Takes a bounce. Whoa, did Christian dodge a bullet on that play.
Wow.
A low snap to Spearing. Spearing had no idea what to do with it. Getting heavy pressure from the Francis Parker rush. Spearing goes to his left and somehow booted the ball away and saved Christian's bacon on that one. And Francis Parker will have to take over at their own 27-yard line as opposed to deep in Christian territory.
How huge was that play that he was able to get an opening enough and to have the presence of mind to find that opening and kick the ball away instead of just eat it and take a sack. That was just an outstanding play by Spearing. Huge play.
MVP tonight for this football team. As Harrington's going to hand it off to Brookins, and Brookins gets across the 30 to go to the 34-yard line. Pick up about 5 on the play. 5:44 left to go in the ball game. Francis Parker trailing by 3 and with the football. And the fans here wondering why they're taking so much time to get ready. And back on the ball come the Lancers. They get the play call from the sidelines. As Harrington sets under center, offset I formation. 8 in the box for Christian as Brookins gets a call off the right side this time. Bounces back to the left and a nice tackle. Who else? Paris Miller on the stop.
Wow, just when you thought Brookins was going to break it free, he kind of disappeared into the middle of the line there and suddenly popped out to the left side. Yeah, fortunately Miller was out there and was able to trip him up, but not before he picked up a 1st down.
Christian in another nail-biter. That was a 2017 victory last week in the last 12 seconds. Here they have it again with Francis Parker on the move. Harrington pump fakes, throws deep down the right side, looking for a man, and nearly picked off and almost even caught by Childs. Actually, good defensive play by both players to let that ball fall incomplete. Boy, has a 2nd and 10. Gutsy call to go deep down the right side with 5 minutes left and trailing by 3.
Yeah, and just to hang it up there. That thing was in the air a long time. And Trevor Howell got back just about the defender, and he got his hand on it, popped it up in the air. And Childs almost picked it after it was tipped in the air, and he just about caught that and took it downfield.
So Brookins on the counter got the call, and it hit immediately at the 41. Oh, he was stuck hard by the strong safety, Dylan Johnson. And there might have been a whistle before or right after the snap. Francis Parker crowd a little subdued when they're trailing only by 3, and with just under 5 minutes left to go, they have an opportunity here to knock out Christian, exact some revenge from last year's semifinal loss.
So 5-yard penalty against Parker.
Come on, crowd. Fire up a little bit, people. A little too sedate for what turned out to be an exciting ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are directly behind the Francis Parker crowd here.
Harrington rolling to his right on 2nd and 15. Fires a dart at the 45, complete to Childs. Childs walks out of bounds to stop the clock. Smart play. 4 yards short of the first down, but still, right now, time really a factor.
Big third down play coming up here. Parker needs this, obviously. I mean, you got to believe that even if they don't get it, they got to go for it when it's 4th down. But certainly they'd like to get it right now and not have to take that chance.
3rd and 5 from their own 44-yard line. Francis Parker fans, fire up. Big play right here. Trailing by 3. Harrington under centers. 2 receivers set to the far side. Brookins the sole setback. Rolling to his left is Harrington, looking to the flat. Decides not to go short. Under pressure. Harrington's in trouble. Fires it away and incomplete. And he was drilled by Dylan Johnson. Johnson was drawing a beat on him. Harrington never saw him. And now a 4th and 5 coming up.
I'm not sure what Harrington was seeing downfield, but he had Jenkins,
right
wide open past the marker, just standing with his hands up. But I think Harrington was looking downfield. There was another receiver further down that maybe he was looking to see if he was going to come open, but he had an open man there.
Now we finally get some response from the Francis Parker side here. 4th and 5. 4:48 left to go in this ball game. Francis Parker trying to keep this drive alive from their own 44-yard line. Harrington back to throw. 3-step drop. Pump fakes out to the side. Childs can't come up with it. And Christian will take over on downs as Harrington's pass to Hank Childs goes out of bounds. And that could be the death knell in this one with 4:42 left to go in the ball game.
Yeah, certainly not the way Coach Morrison would have liked to see those last 2 plays go down. You had 3rd and 5, and the play just kind of blew up. I don't know what happened. Harrington had a couple men open downfield and just didn't see him apparently. And then that 4th and 5, he just overthrew his man Childs, who was open in the flat.
Well, 3 timeouts left for Francis Parker. They now are on defense. Christian takes over 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. And they're going to go with Owens and expect them to stick with him as Owens pulls the pile forward close to the 40-yard line. 2-yard pickup, call it 2nd down and 8. 4:32 and counting. As Francis Parker with a huge opportunity just gone asunder.
Yeah, really big opportunity. And again, how quickly momentum changes. They had it all their way there coming out of the end of the 3rd quarter, going into the 4th. Got the score, got the ball back like they needed to, and it just went away.
Francis Parker still with a couple timeouts left. 4:07 left to go in this ball game. 2nd and 8, and then flags down on the field. The officials stop the play. And we have, I'm going to believe it's going to be a legal procedure against Christian. And here's a mistake that a young team makes. You can't, this kills the clock right now. It stops the clock and it backs you up another 5 yards.
Right.
So huge opportunity here for Francis Parker.
Yeah, this is where you want to put it away, not to keep your opponent alive. You got your foot on their neck, you need to stomp.
Exactly. Well put. Well put. So 2nd and 13 for Christian. Just under 4 minutes left to play. Christian with a 3-point lead, leading 20-17. And ball's at the 47-yard line. As Carrillo back to pass, heavy rush, and he is swarmed back at the 45-yard line. And this has been a problem for Carrillo and the Christian offense.
And really an interesting call. I mean, it hasn't been there all night long. Your run game has been there all night long. And right now all you're trying to do is run the clock out. And now what you've done is, you've gone to something that hasn't worked for you all night long. You get a huge sack. You lose big yards. You stop the clock. I mean, it's just not a good call.
Timeout called by Francis Parker. They have 2 left. 3:34 left to go in the 4th quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks. This one ain't over yet. Christian leading 20-17.
Hey, folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups just like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Well, tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. And also, we want to invite you to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game, as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following this game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Francis Parker crowd right in front of us on their feet. 3rd and 22 for Christian, backed up at their own 46-yard line. Carrillo under center. Back to throws and rolling out to his right, looking to throw, has time. Now in trouble and dropped at the 40-yard line. Carrillo had all day, and all of a sudden, that was Brookins who came in late and dropped Carrillo at the 40. Just holding on the ball far too long. And it's a 4th down, and we have an injury timeout on the field, a Christian player coming up slow.
Yeah, youth, inexperience, in a difficult situation. It just comes out right there. And, I kind of put that on the play calling, not as much as anything else. That, with the 2nd and long, why are they trying to pass the ball? So they get sacked, and now they set up a 3rd and even longer and force themselves into a pass play, and the passing has not been there all night long. So Carrillo, his inexperience totally came through there in a pressure situation, and just didn't find anybody downfield. And that's where you just get rid of the ball. You just get rid of it, and instead they get sacked for an even bigger loss. And what do you got? 4th and about 25. And you got to get yourself a nice punt here. Fortunately, Spearing's been doing a nice job punting.
Phenomenal.
He had the miracle punt a little while ago that stopped at the half-inch line.
Unreal.
And he needs another one of those right here and give his Christian defense an opportunity to stop Parker from getting anywhere.
We've talked about 9 lives. This Francis Parker team is working all of them. 3:24 left to go in the ball game. Spearing with a low snap again, gets rid of it, and flags down on the field. Wait a minute. We got something going on at the Francis Parker sideline saying flag him's late. And I'm confused to find out what's going on.
I think they're saying his knee was down.
Oh, Spearing. Another bad snap by Christian. They're saying Spearing's knee may have been down while reaching for the ball. Francis Parker sideline's going crazy.
Didn't see him go low.
I didn't either, but that would give Francis Parker a phenomenal
false start
field position. They're going to call it a false start
or
penalty.
a procedure or some
I don't know
kind.
how they're going to call that on a punt. 1st down, Francis Parker. Where are they going to put this football? Wow, unbelievable turn of events here, folks. I'm not really sure how they're going to call this and why and where they're going to put the football. Well, if I was Christian's head coach right now, Coach Oliver's got to be a little hot under the collar. Spearing couldn't handle a bad snap. Evidently went down low and his knee touched the ground. And they're going to place the ball at the 27-yard line of Christian. Francis Parker with every of their one of their 9 lives, using each one. 3:21 left to go in the ball game. The Lancers trailing by 3. Christian has given them every opportunity to win this game, and here is their chance. In great field position as Christian goes 9 across the board.
Well, here's an opportunity for Harrington to take his team in and win this ball game that has basically been handed back to them by Christian Patriots.
Harrington in the gun. Low snap, picks it up, back to throw, looks over the middle, has a man, and that one picked off by George.
Oh, my goodness.
Philip George with the interception at the 5-yard line and working down the left side. And that is speed kills to the 40, and he's got a bevy of blockers and finally brought down across midfield. And the Lancers, who looking to take advantage of a huge turnover, turn the ball over themselves as Philip George may have saved the day for this Christian football team with that interception and run back. Boy, this thing is just going teeter.
I'm not sure if anybody wants to win this game.
Unbelievable play.
Wow, the coach got a little greedy. I think he was trying to take it right there in the first play. It's kind of cool. You got the ball back and you want to strike quickly, but on the other hand, why not try to chew up most of the clock before you score the game-winning touchdown?
3:05 left to go in the final quarter, and a blitz.
Offside.
That's Child went way over the neutral zone.
Yeah.
That's exuberance, folks. That's 5 free yards at the Mark Grumman. 3 yards brought to you by Mark Grumman. At least no time went off the clock. 3:05 left to go in this contest. And Christian is just clinging to a 20-17 lead. Right now, anything can happen, because everything has. As back, 8 in the box, showing blitz. Carrillo under center. They're going to give it to Owens. Owens just met in the line of scrimmage, dropped for a 3-yard loss. Nothing special going on there, but the clock continues to run under 3 minutes.
Nice push off the line there by the defense to get in the backfield. It's one of the very few, if maybe even the first time, that Owens has been tackled for a loss.
1 timeout left for Francis Parker. 2:41 and counting in this ball game. Christian facing second down and a long 6 from the 44-yard line of the Lancers. Carrillo taking his time under center. 2 receivers far side. He's got George solo right on single coverage. Owens with the dark jersey. That's all full of dirt. And he has dropped back and the ball's loose again. And Francis Parker has it. Folks, I can't even call this game anymore. I have no clue what's going to happen next.
Wow.
I've said 9 lives. I think I've said 9 lives 3 times already. Francis Parker, once again, Christian just doesn't want to win this ball game. As the Lancer defense coming up with another turnover. 2:18 left to go in this ball game. And the Lancers again with an opportunity to get in field goal range to tie it or possibly win it with a touchdown.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't think I'm going to say anything else. I think I'm about done broadcasting this ball game. Anything can happen as everything has. Here we go. 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Harrington under center. Christian showing blitz. Ball across the middle. A great goal. Grab it. Dropped at the 45. Another opportunity lost as Eamon Mayberry, who's had a little trouble holding on to the rock tonight.
Yeah, he sure has.
Another one.
That was a nice throw by Harrington, too. He threw him open, and Mayberry had an opportunity to make that catch, move the ball up, but just, again, could not grab it.
Lancer receivers have not been helpful for quarterback Gabe Harrington tonight. 2nd and 10 from their own 43. 2:14 left to go in this contest. Lancers trailing by 3. Harrington back to throw. Fires the throw back to his receiver to the right side and squeaking forward close to the 47-yard line. Pick up about 6 on the play. Clock continues to run at the 2-minute mark. 1 timeout left for Francis Parker. 3rd and 5. Quickly back on the ball go the Lancers. Harrington calling the play from the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers set to either side. Brookins the sole setback. Harrington 3-step drop, throws him to his man open, got him and pushed out of bounds. Falling back as Childs with a nice grab and a headsy play to get out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:40 left to go.
Yeah, real nice job getting across the chains, getting out of bounds.
And taking a lick.
Yeah, he did. He took a lick.
So the Lancers, this has got to be their 9th life. And they've got to take advantage of it here. 1st and 10 from the Christian 42-yard line. 1:40 left to go. Lancers trailing by 3. Offset I formation. They send Jenkins to the left. They're going to give it to Brookins. Brookins finds some room down the middle. Hustles up the field. Breaking tackles everywhere across the 30 to 25-yard line. Brookins, that was individual effort to get that play. 24 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and you know what? They probably are in field goal range right about now.
Schmidt has got a tremendous leg as we're sitting right behind his parents. I know we're thinking about his son right now. This is going to be a game winner or a game tie shot now. 1st and 10. Ball's at the Christian 25-yard line. And the official stop play, or do we have a timeout? Is an official timeout on the field. 1:25 left to go in the contest. And Lancers trailing by 3 and into Christian territory. They're doing everything in their power to win this ball game. Christian doing everything in their power to try to lose it as Brookins gets the call again and finds a hole on the left side. He's still running wild and down inside the 5-yard line. Jesse Brookins having a night for this Lancer football team, and now definitely in field goal range, but with 1:11 left to go, a touchdown might just close it and end that 8-game winning streak for Christian.
Yeah, and you're seeing the result of a good balance here. You know, they were throwing the ball a little bit, and they've got Christian thinking pass, and now 2 nice big run plays, and Brookins has them right down inside of striking distance.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Brookins on the misdirection, looking left, trying to find some room, might have gotten a yard as he is clamped down by the Christian defense. And now timeout on the field again. And Francis Parker will use their final timeout of the half. 46 seconds left to go as the Lancers knocking on the door at the 4-yard line, trailing by 3.
Folks, PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. And folks, stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
And we thank you for staying with us here from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. We have got a barn burner going here. Christian holding a 20-17 lead over Francis Parker, but the Lancers on a tremendous last gasp drive now have the ball. Second and goal from the 4-yard line of Christian. It is go time for both these squads. 46 seconds left to go as Harrington sends his troops to the line of scrimmage. Brookins has really done the job on this drive. He is at tailback. Short side of the field to the left. This time play action. Harrington rolling out. He's going to call his own number, try to find the way to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Francis Parker.
Like that call. He had so much room on the far and that open side. They were on the short side of the field. Beautiful. You know, everybody's looking for him to give the ball to Brookins. Fake to Brookins. He rolled out. He had so much room out there. Was able to just kind of dance into the end zone. And look at this. These last few minutes have been so strange. And Parker now has found themselves with 40 seconds to go. They got a lead, and they're knocking on the door to victory.
Last week, Christian had to come from behind in the final 12 seconds to secure a victory. This time, karma working against them as it's Francis Parker's turn to make a last-ditch effort to win. And Schmidt's kick into the parking lot is good. And now Francis Parker with a 3-point lead, 23-20, with only 40 seconds, 4-point lead, 24-20, with only 40 seconds left to go in the ball game. How does Christian respond? And look at that sideline, and the men in white are absolutely despondent at this time.
They can't believe it. They've had this game in their hands. They could have just basically put the final nail in with a touchdown way back, however long ago that was, and couldn't put it in the end zone. And it's just been the strangest, last quarter of this ball game. But there's still 40 seconds left, and the way this has gone, I wouldn't be surprised by anything.
40 seconds to go in the contest. Francis Parker crowd on their feet. They've been quiet for most of this game. Now coming alive as their Lancers have come from behind to take a 4-point lead over Christian. They're looking to kill that 8-game win streak and exact revenge for last year's semifinal loss. Christian with 3 timeouts from looking at the board left. And they need a huge return from one of their dangerous return men right now. Miller's back there standing at his 10.
Got to believe they're not going to give him much chance at a return. Give him a little pooch kick or hit it to somebody short.
Schmidt does, and Schmidt does exactly that. A corkscrew kick finally brought down by Spearing at the 31-yard line. He just lays on top of it smartly. And Christian now, 38 seconds to go in the game with 3 timeouts, trailing Francis Parker by 4. Their passing game arc has just been atrocious tonight. And can you just stick it on the ground and hope Owens can just make the plays?
Well, you think that, but that means you're having to call timeout. The clock runs. I mean, they need a pass play in the worst possible way right here. They got to get the ball downfield in a hurry. And granted, if you get the ball to Owens and he gets a big opening, he can take it down the field in a hurry on the ground. But that doesn't look like the likely scenario. They got to pass the ball.
So 1st and 10 for Christian, their last opportunity. 38 seconds left to go in the ball game. Carrillo under center, 2 receivers far side. Carrillo back to throw. Here comes Brookins, drops him at the 25. Oh, Brookins came unnoticed. Carrillo never saw him. And Carrillo up slow, and the sack, the last thing they can take was a sack, so they got to call a timeout.
Brookins hit him at a full sprint when he planted himself into the chest of Carrillo. Wow.
Carrillo's been on the ground half of the game tonight. As Lancers dialing up blitzes, especially from the right side.
I think I got a bruise from that hit.
And a timeout on the field by Christian. They've got, well, now they show they have nothing left. That may have been their
Mamma
last
mia.
timeout.
Yeah, that was a heck of a hit.
Last timeout. Getting the call from the timekeeper. It appears that Christian does have one more timeout left with 31 seconds left to go and trailing by 4.
And still surprised that they don't have a shotgun formation for Carrillo.
I'm
I mean,
surprised.
he still has to get up under center and drop back. I mean, that takes time, but also he needs some time to be able to see what's going on.
He's only 5'10", and he's back to throw now on a deep drop. Plenty of time in the pocket, and he's hit immediately. Just as I said that, he is drilled as he releases the ball. Was that Jake Glasser?
Yeah, he got a lick on him too, boy. He's
and Mr. Carrillo is going to need some ice for those ribs tonight.
That's a hard thing to watch from the stands, to see your son getting beat to heck like that.
26 seconds left to go in this ball game. Christian facing a 3rd and 16 from their own 28. Carrillo just being battered tonight. As he sets back, defense is back on their heels, giving plenty of cushion. Heavy rush again. Carrillo's up and down. 3rd straight hit on 3 straight plays as Lancers are just pinning the ears back and knocking them down, bringing up a 4th down and a last chance for this Christian football team.
Coach Oliver is charging out on the field for this timeout like he wants to go put on somebody else's helmet. Say, let me do it for you.
So Christian out of timeouts. 21 seconds left to go and trailing by 4. This Francis Parker football team, never say die, feeling it and looking to get a little vindication for last year's 2 losses to this Christian team.
Yeah, you know that helps. You never get those back. Obviously, you can't go back and win them all over again, but it certainly helps kind of get rid of the pain a little bit by knowing that you're the last one to win the game.
So 4th and 16 for Christian. 21 seconds left to go. Passing has not been a forte of this Patriot team tonight as Carrillo goes under center. Defense way and they're going to give it to Owens. Owens going to try to find a way to a first down. He does near midfield. And Owens keeps this game alive. 14 seconds left as Owens gets the first down and more. And Christian down in midfield. Rayvon Owens well over 200 yards rushing tonight. As Carrillo under center kills it right there. 12 seconds left, or should be 12 seconds left on the clock.
Wow.
Rayvon Owens
still alive,
keeping the oxygen flowing through this Christian offense. A draw play on 4th and 16. He gets 20. He has been the workhorse here tonight.
He's been amazing. He is really something to watch.
Tremendous athlete. So from midfield, 2nd and 10, 11 seconds left. They may no timeouts left. They could potentially get 2 plays in here.
Well, put another second on the clock.
Why don't you just give it to Owens again? Let him just barrel up the 20 yards.
You know, the clock stops with a first down.
Exactly. So 11 seconds, ball at midfield. Christian trailing 24-20 with possibly 2 opportunities here to win this ball game. Carrillo still under center. Rayvon Owens in the dirtiest uniform on the field. Throwing back to pass, got plenty of protection. Going to throw it out to the sideline, has a man caught at the 37-yard line. That's George, leaving 6 seconds left on the clock as he goes out of bounds in a first down.
Well, this is it. This is the last play. What will they do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you run Owens again.
You know, can't go wrong. He's broken 2 big touchdown runs, or at least one came just short of a touchdown, but he's broken off some big runs here.
Lancers put 7 in the secondary. They're in their dime package, 4 men on the line. Carrillo will stay under center. Miller will set to the short side. Ball's on the right hash mark. A lot of room down the left side. And Owens, the sole setback. Movement on the line of scrimmage, and we're going to have a false start against Christian.
So he's just going to have to throw it 5 yards farther.
Yep. Left tackle moved a little early. Boy, I tell you something, from a game that was kind of going back and kind of slowly back and forth, and it's just turned into a monster in the 4th quarter. Craziest things happening. I still can't believe Spearing's punt.
Yeah, that
hit the 1 yard line. took a 90-degree angle and went directly out of bounds.
Yeah, I would have never believed it if I hadn't seen it.
Anything that could go right or wrong did for both these teams. So the final play of the game, 6 seconds left to go. They're going to throw 3 receivers to the short side. No receivers wide side. Carrillo under center. Here comes Francis Parker, and he's under pressure. Throws it back to Spearing. Spearing looking for some blocking. He's got one man. Spearing is still on his feet to the 25. Spearing on a stretch to the end zone, and finally brought down at the 15-yard line.
This game could not have ended any better.
Christian nearly escaped, but Francis Parker, the team with more than 9 lives, ends the 8-game winning streak for Christian with a miraculous 24-20 victory over the Patriots. And everybody here is completely speechless.
Yeah, and you could tell all the way down till that clock hit triple zeros that this crowd was not convinced they were going to win this game.
And Spearing for Christian nearly sprinted that one into the end zone to give it.
That was a great call.
Unbelievable play. An unbelievable football game, folks. And ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to PlayOnSports.com for our post-game coverage. We'll wrap up all the action in our post-game show, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, and one heck of a football game where you could see just about everything happen. The Francis Parker Lancers get some revenge against Christian Patriots with an improbable 24-20 victory over the Division V foes. Here on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, we're your destination for high school sports.
one match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.
And welcome back to San Diego, California, and the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. TC Wardell alongside Mark Grumman. And we saw a game for the ages. Francis Parker exacting some revenge against Christian. 24-20 victory in what is one of the most improbable finishes of any football game I've seen recently. Francis Parker with more than 9 lives working. Christian just didn't want to win the game tonight. They gave Francis Parker every opportunity to win. And Francis Parker finally in the last minute decided to do just that and pull off the victory.
Yeah, it's like you said. This game was Christians to win. They were in control. They had a 20-10 lead late in the third quarter, had a chance to punch it in to, add a little bit to the lead. Couldn't do it. Francis Parker got the ball back. Gave it right back to Christian. Christian couldn't put it in the end zone again. Parker, it was just a really amazing thing to watch. And that the first 3 quarters were kind of back and forth and a little weird, and then that fourth quarter was just nuts. And Francis Parker stayed alive. Christian did not put him out of their misery. Christian let him stay in the game. And Francis Parker said, okay, if you don't want to win, we want to win. And they took it. And what an exciting finish. It was really, I would say I'm speechless, but I continue to speak, don't I? It was just a really interesting game to watch.
It was rather unbelievable. Some of the most improbable events and plays occurred here, especially on special teams, where we saw a punt hit a hash mark at the 1-yard line, take a 90-degree bounce and angle, and go directly out of bounds without ever going across the goal line. Things like that were happening this entire fourth quarter. A tremendous game. Christian trying to extend that 8-game winning streak, couldn't do it tonight. Francis Parker, the team who just wanted it more, and also the team who may have been better conditioned, a lot of players going both ways for both these squads, just took the heart out of him and said, you're going to give us the opportunity to win, we're going to take it from you, we're going to kill that winning streak of yours and exact some revenge from last year's 2 losses to this Christian football team.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the way momentum went back and forth, and at the end it was Francis Parker's. Just when you thought Christian was going to take it, momentum went back to Parker, and Parker took advantage and was able to punch it in for the game winner. It was exciting. It was a really fun game to be a part of. It's fun to watch. Man, the atmosphere has been fun. There's a little band over here right behind us. A bunch of freshmen, sophomores. They are rocking out. There's just a great band, good, tight music of our generation. I mean, I don't know where these kids learned it, but they are jamming back there, having some good old, we're old. Hey, it was fun. It was a really fun atmosphere. Started out the game with a 4th grade girl belting out the national anthem. Just a beautiful job. It was a fun time.
You're full of adrenaline right now, aren't you?
I kind of am. I don't know. Maybe it was that Rockstar I drank a little while ago.
Well, Francis Parker, with the win, they go to 3-1 on the season. They will host Imperial next week in what will be an amazing matchup. They've got to face Royce Freeman, the best running back you have never heard of in San Diego County. As now Christian, they lose that winning streak. They drop to 3-1, if you want to call it dropping to 3-1. and they'll move on to take on a Coastal League, rather a Central League team next week. I believe it's Mission Bay they'll take on at home and try to bounce back after this heartbreaking loss. So that should wrap it up here for PlayOnSports.com from Francis Parker High School in San Diego, California. We'd like to thank you for joining us on Play On Sports and hope that you check our PlayOnSports.com information on our website for the next games that are coming up. So for our producer, Chris Cashman, our videographer, as usual, Mr. Steady, Ken Ho, my partner, Mark Grumman, I'm TC Wardell saying thank you for joining us on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. See ya.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot.